in less than an hour, right?
Hey, and we're live. All right.
Yeah.
No, this week will not be less than an hour because we got lots to talk about. Welcome back to another episode of the Football is King podcast. I think we're at episode 10. Way to go, everyone. We made it to a decade. Okay. Boom. Crushing it.
Nope.
Yep.
10
That's how
weeks
that
is
works.
not a decade.
Ah,
Football season's almost over. That's not good.
no, we're not even at the
Halfway
halfway
over.
point.
College
All
is
right.
halfway.
College is halfway.
Thank God.
NFL's getting there. Yeah, we're very thankful that college football is getting close to the end. But you know what? We say that, and we don't mean it because we all remember what it's like in the late spring, early summer when there's
To
no
only
sports
have
on.
baseball to watch. To
Yeah.
watch mid-season baseball.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So we're gonna as somebody said many times this week, and we're gonna embrace the suck and that means if our college football team sucks, that's fine. We're gonna enjoy every second of watching us suck at
Root
football.
for chaos.
If
Root
our-
for chaos.
If our NFL teams aren't playing great, that's okay. It's better than watching mid-season baseball because football is king.
That's a fact.
All
Some
right,
of us
I'm-
are fans of the Aggies and the Saints and the Raiders. So two
Although
of us
Hey,
watching,
we
Yeah,
won the
these,
game this week. We won a game
watching
this
these
week.
baseball games in Philly has been kind of electric. Not gonna lie.
That's true. Hey, playoff baseball is very different than mid-season baseball.
hey, and
Wait,
I will
how close
tune in
is
for
Philly
Joe
to
Buck in
Atlanta?
the World Series.
Not close. Probably
I'm
How-
gonna
how-
10
guess.
hours at least.
I'm guessing 7 hours.
I'm
via
thinking.
car.
I was gonna
Really?
say 8 to 10.
That far?
New York City's only like 12.
While we're looking up this geography fact, I'll remind you that I'm your host, Austin Williamson, here on the ones and twos, spinning with the other three stooges that we have going on here. All four of us are
It's 12 hours. It's 12
okay.
hours.
12 hours. Blake, right on the
Damn.
money. We are all your
Everyone.
football experts that we know you come to every week to talk about the week that was in the college football and NFL world. We had a special treat this week here on the Football is King podcast where we got to attend, minus Blake, the Dallas Cowboys Detroit Lions game. And that brings us to our untrue fact of the week. The pod is undefeated in games that they attend. Now, some of you will call out our untrue fact of the week and say that it is not true because the very first game we went to was Tennessee, Kansas City, and the Chiefs lost. But we
That
were
one had
not
an asterisk.
we were not a podcast back then. So the pod
Mhm.
is undefeated in games that we have attended.
Also
there
a
you
missed
go.
offsides call.
Yeah.
So that's an
Plus-
asterisk.
Mahomes coming back from injury. And you know what? We had a great time still in Nashville. So you know what? We count that as a win as well.
That Saturday and Sunday night, it's a win.
Good
It's a
times.
win.
If you haven't checked out Nashville, Tennessee, you go for it. Boulevard,
If you haven't
whatever it's
carried a
called,
180-pound man through Nashville, Tennessee,
right past the police officers, you know. All right.
Also, if
Put some
you're a
respect on my
single
name.
male in America, move to Nashville now. This is the town you should live
gotta
in.
hope Shane's wife doesn't watch this.
Well, I
Welcome-
mean, I'm
Uh,
happily married. I'm not moving to Nashville. I'm just giving some advice to the bachelors in the world to move to Nashville.
It is the
Move to
bachelorette party of the bachelorette party central of the
Capital.
world. So there you
Capital.
go. Yeah, capital. That's the word I was looking for. All right, that brings us to our
Oh, here
gambling
we-
segment.
There we go.
It was a rough week in the gambling streets for the pod, except for our last place, but slowly creeping in there. Shane with the win this week, going 2-1, still riding the New York Jets train. More of that later. But Shane goes 2-1. Shane, are you finally done betting the Jayhawks? Because I think it's 3 weeks in a row you've lost on the Jayhawks.
I think the train's over, dude.
Yeah, I abandoned the Jayhawks this week.
All right. Blake lost, unfortunately, his Dirty Birds. We talked about it last week on the pod. One of these weeks they had to not cover, and this
Austin
was the week.
sifted out from a mile away.
This was the week. I think the Bengals are kind of back. So
The Bengals are back, fellas.
They're a team to be
Joe
aware
Burrow is
of.
back.
The Ravens still can't cover. That's really what got me this week. I took a gamble on the Patriots, and it was a true gamble. They got their butts kicked at home by Justin Fields, and Jonathan went.
That's putting it nicely.
Jonathan went all Texas, and it didn't
Football in
work out.
Texas
Okay.
sucks.
Didn't
First
work
off,
out.
I'm okay with losing the UT one. I'm okay with that because any day Texas loses is a good day.
Jonathan was actively rooting against his own money in the
I
bar
was.
that we were watching.
That's
the game
why I
at.
don't bet. That's why I don't bet those games.
Yeah, he was
I was-
actively rooting for the other team than
I-
the team he bet on.
I
kept
said-
telling
I
him that it
said
was
I
going to
would
middle,
be-
and he was going to be pissed.
Yeah, I said I'd be perfectly happy either way as long as I don't middle. And I didn't middle
It was getting close there for a second that he might, but then
for a second.
Oklahoma
There,
State
I thought
pulled
I
it
was
out.
on middle.
So
I was
there
gonna
you
be
go.
very upset if I middled and Blake took the lead, like took a bigger lead because of that game. I was gonna be
That
really
would have been.
pissed.
That actually would have been funny. I should have been rooting for that.
No, but
At what point
but
did I try to live
TCU,
bet the
you know,
Aggies?
keeping me up.
Shane, you tried to live bet the Aggies at 17-0 plus 2.5, and you were getting close there for a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought it was a
close.
good bet.
I
was-
actually thought about it too because I was like, when freaky stuff happens like that, like the Chiefs do it
Yeah.
all the time.
No, for
Freaky
sure.
stuff happens, and then you're like,
Oh.
all right, they're gonna come back.
Yeah.
If the Chiefs
And-
go down early, take
Now,
the live bet. Just do
Matt,
it.
it depends on how the Chiefs go down early. I was there. If you're playing like the Bills and they go down early, and it's just
I'm not
very,
yeah.
it's very apparent that the Chiefs are not stopping the Bills' offense. That's a problem.
But
If you're playing the Niners, and the only thing
They
that's
can't score.
happening is that the Niners can't score touchdowns, but are moving the ball, and they're going to kick field goals, then yeah, you live bet the Chiefs.
They can
I don't-
score
I don't
touchdowns
wanna-
now, man.
I don't want to give
Christian
credit to a different podcast, but there was a
Mhm.
wild stat pulled out on a podcast. I was
Oh,
listening
I
to.
got it. I got to wait
where-
for later. Don't pull it out. I gotta
Okay, I
wait.
won't say it.
It's in for later.
It
Don't
is
you
a
worry.
wild.
It is
stat.
amazing.
I won't say it then.
All right.
Now
Speaking
I
of,
wanna know what it is.
oh, we'll get there.
Oh, you'll
That's
know
a
it.
nice
Yeah.
teaser. Please don't leave the podcast early. You're gonna want to hear it. I do need to
I got
go.
some out.
Okay. I need to go to my my resident pop culture expert, Mr. Blake. I need a one-word review for the new Taylor Swift album. I know you've heard it. Just a
Oh, I for
one-word
sure heard it.
review. What would it be?
If I need
Garbage.
I need a hyphen.
That's fine.
It's not hyphen Evermore.
Okay. And that has been the one-word Taylor Swift review. All right, back to football. We're gonna start off. Yeah,
Can
What's
I ask one
Evermore?
question? One question
one of her
about
other albums.
what that was. Okay, see, I didn't know that. I was trying to figure that out. But what does it mean? when
Evermore
she
might be the
says-
greatest album of all time.
What does she mean when she says, I think everyone might be a sexy baby,
Oh, that was weird. It's weird.
but I'm a beast on a hill or something, or monster on a hill or something? What
She
is this
dabble in
sexy
bestiality?
baby? What does
No.
this sexy baby fall
She
into?
does. She does throw the word "sexy baby" in on the song, and it was
Sexy baby's on the song.
What song
I gotta
is
say
it?
that song's catchy, but
anti-hero.
it's weird.
Anti-hero. My wife was showing it.
Anti-hero.
Yeah, my wife was showing it to me earlier. The "sexy baby" lyric was kind of strange, but we're
Am I
already talking
literally
about.
the only one in America who has not listened to 1 second of this album?
Yes,
Yes.
you did, bro. We listened
It
to
actually
it on the way
broke-
home on Saturday night.
But it also, well, Shane can't remember Saturday night, but it broke every Spotify record for like newest
Yeah.
album release.
It took her like 12 hours, and she had already broke the record for most streams of an album in one single day.
Yeah, I will say this though. There's some Swifties out there that don't like this album, right? This is not.
Hey.
This
Uh-oh.
that's not.
Low-key,
doesn't-
Sarah will hate hearing this. She made a comment this weekend. She said it's growing on me. So I was
It's
like, so
not-
you didn't like it at first?
It's not Taylor. She's just changing who it is, and it's all Jack Antonoff. Who I love Jack Antonoff. It's all his fault because he's the producer on this album. So he made it like a Jack Antonoff album.
I don't even know who that is.
He is behind like Bleachers and Fun, I believe, are the two bands that he's been behind. They're great. They're just very different. He also is the person who like helped produce all of Lord's albums. If you remember who she is, what she sounds like, which is why all of Taylor's songs sound like a Lord.
I'm deep into Lord as well.
Oh, you're
so.
deep into Lord as well. All
Yeah.
right, Blake, that's what I'm talking about.
I think I know who Fun is. If you would tell me a name of a song.
We Are Young. It goes tonight.
Oh, that one. Yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
that one. I know
Fun,
That was
fun,
when I was in high school when that
Yeah.
came out. Dude. That was
Fun
like
crea-
11, 12 years ago.
Fun created one
I miss-
album. 5 of their songs made it to #1 on the charts. That's how good that album was. It's crazy. Love Fun.
I missed
right.
the song about the bugs with the tails in the sky. What was that one? Owl City.
Owl City. Owl City's a good time.
Fireflies.
Good time.
Or
Fireflies. It's called Fireflies by Owl
Bugs
City.
with the tails in the sky.
I mean, I'm a big fan of Shane's version of El Rey.
Yeah, Shane's version of El Rey. Hey,
Give us a little taste of that.
If
For-
you don't know, Shane
All right,
speaks
hey.
fluent Spanish in the song
Hold
El
on.
Rey.
this is very bad podcasting ethics, but we're going to see if the sound carries over. We're going to try. I'm going to play El Rey by
Dan, you gotta
Vicente
belt it, dude.
Fernandez,
You
and we're going to see whether this works out.
Vicente Fernandez.
Can y'all hear the song?
No.
No.
Dang
you
it.
turn
All
it
right.
up?
Kind of.
Turn it up.
What about
I
now?
can kind of hear it.
No. One minute. Let me see, Austin. Let me see,
All right.
Austin. Let me see if it works for me.
Hold on. Okay.
I have
This
it
is-
saved.
Ooh, this is going to be our worst episode of all time right here for
Ready?
sure. This is
Are we
bad.
ready?
Can you hear it?
No. Hey,
Just sing it.
this is no. Here's what we're gonna do. This is a tease for the future. I'm gonna figure out how to get the audio working where we can hear the music here.
No, good story.
He muted him. He muted him.
We'll work that out for the future. I think that that's gonna be a great thing for once Shane gets his own internet. That way we don't have laggy Shane singing. We'll get there. We'll get there. That is possibly our future theme song for the podcast. We'll figure it out. All right.
In two
it should
weeks,
definitely be
in
the
2
future.
weeks I'll have my own internet.
There we go. That was a solid 10 minutes of non-football talk, which is why you come to the Football is King podcast. Let's get into it. We're going to start off in the college football world today. Once again, our college football segment has a sponsor. This
Losers.
week, the college football segment is brought to you by footballboostersugardaddy.com. Are you a football booster that is spending all your hard-earned money on players' NIL deals, but you need some extra cash to fire your head coach? Sign up for footballboostersugardaddy.com and get connected with the right sugar daddy for you. Specifically, if you need $95 million,
$5 million.
to get your head coach, this is the website for you. Shane, I'm just going to let you start off with the segment with a solid 2-word slogan. What's our slogan for this week?
Fire bimbo.
Yes. So I don't know if we're all quite there yet, but we're getting close if we're not. The Aggies are.
At the very
Yeah.
least, if we don't fire him, can our boy Ross Bjork tell him to get rid of the 95 pieces of paper he's got chained to his waist when he's trying to call a play? What are all those papers?
If
I hate it.
he didn't have the contract he had, he would be changing shit rapidly because he would be getting fired next week if he loses.
I mean-
I'd be getting the MLS and College Station to sell some of them Texas ranches he's got. 'cause
I mean,
he'd be gone.
if he didn't have the contract he had, he'd already be fired because he has a worse record than Kevin Sumlin, and Kevin Sumlin got fired.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
this is year 5. This is year 5,
Yeah,
correct?
it's crazy.
expect better, and that should be the slogan for.
I can't stand the excuse, and I keep hearing it again. Well, this position group is young. This position group is young. This position group is young.
Fuck.
Why the heck are they young? This is year 5. It's your fault they're young. You can
Yeah,
say
dude.
that year 1 and 2. You don't get to say that in year 5.
I agree. And it's obvious that it's an undisciplined team. He doesn't have
Oh.
control. Like, holy fuck. You have kids smoking pot before the game?
In the locker
In
room.
the fucking locker room?
Not
Dude,
great.
get your fucking team under control,
He hadn't
man.
said nothing.
These kids don't have no
He hadn't
damn
made any
respect for
noise.
him. They don't give a shit about him.
Okay. You don't pee on something?
They got their money. They're
You
good.
don't pee on
When it comes down to it, man, like year 5, year 1, year 10, it don't matter, man. If you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you shouldn't be there. Maybe we should start a new slogan. You know how we always say, don't pay running backs in the NFL? Don't pay fucking coaches stupid amounts of money.
I mean,
It's
that's
only
just-
going to get worse.
You don't pay anyone stupid amounts of money. Like, I mean, giving people long, like
Guaranteed.
sincerely long-term contracts, like 10 years for a coach after just one good season, or like, I mean,
I don't know.
the Chiefs are lucky that Patrick Mahomes is working out, but like he made it to the Super Bowl /1, and then they were like, here is the keys to the castle for the rest of your life. And thankfully that continues to work, but that could easily bite them in the butt. Like
That's how sports teams screw themselves. Kobe did it to the Lakers.
Bobby Bonilla, we still have
Bobby Bonilla
it's
is still
still
getting
Bobby
paid.
Bonilla day.
Albert Pujols
Yeah.
is still making a ton of money.
Did Kobe do it to like Kobe brought
He absolutely
rings to the
did.
Lakers, bro.
At the end of his career, they couldn't have anyone besides him because he took so much money.
They still haven't recovered from it.
And they were paying for his past. They weren't
That's
paying for
not
what he was
Kobe's
at that
fault.
point.
This
know.
team is not Kobe's fault.
I just wanted to say it just for the fun of it.
They're terrible. Russell
Hey,
Westbrook
they're
going
fucking
0
bad.
for 11.
Hey, since the last time we talked about basketball things, the Spurs are on a heater.
Hey, we're 2-1, boys.
It's
Are we
because they're
3-1?
trying not to show that they're tanking from Wambaba.
Yeah.
We're already have 10% of our wins needed for to make the our Vegas win total.
Jonathan cannot say Wembanyama to save his life. It cracks me
Wembanyama.
up.
Also, so I was talking to somebody about Wembayama, whatever his name is.
That's
And,
it. That's
uh,
Wembanyama.
That dude
It's
is gonna
Wembanyama.
be him, Chet Holmgren, and there's another kid coming up too that's like 7'6". Those guys are they're gonna get broken.
Oh, for sure. They're so
Blake.
thin.
Blake, we've been talking about Wambaba for 3 years.
He's gonna get broken.
You were there when Corey and I would draft him in 2K and be like, this
Yeah, I
is a
know.
kid, bro.
Yeah, he's good, but he's gonna get broken.
All right.
He's the kid, bro.
Back to the misery that is Texas A&M football. Do we even need to say anything else at this point in time?
I
I'm
do have
numb
a
to it.
question.
I'm
Yeah.
I
numb
have
to
a
it.
question. Jimbo Fisher,
Yep.
Lane Kiffin,
Lane.
Matt Rule.
Lane.
Lane. I was reading today that we should hire. I was thinking we
I
should
would
hire
take
Lane Kiffin.
I would take Jimbo Fisher over Matt Rule as well. I'm sorry. Matt Rule does not impress me.
But Lane does it.
Lane
actually
runs
am
an
a fan of
offense.
Lane, because here's my thing with Lane. So he's supposed to be like this heavy pass guy. He's running the ball a lot this year. So he's
But he runs an
obviously
up-tempo
showing he can
offense.
change to his team.
Yeah, I
Which
like.
I think
Lane
there's a
Kiffin.
lot
He's
of
a good
coaches that
college
can't do that.
Lane is
Shane,
the
you're
one
muted.
head coach out there that calls his own plays and it works. In college.
Yeah. I was just curious if everyone was on board to maybe like a swap, Jimbo goes to Ole Miss. We get
They ain't
Lane.
taking that. No way they're
And
taking
maybe-
that.
Maybe that works.
Here's a name no one's talking about, and y'all might kill me for this. Joe Brady.
No.
No,
Briles.
he was terrible.
Right.
No. I brought up Art Briles as a joke either this weekend or last week on the pod. I can't remember what it was, but that was a joke.
No. But I've been saying
Joe
Briles
Brady
deserves a
can
job
run
so
a
far.
college offense. He can run.
Joe
a
Brady
college
wasn't
offense.
calling plays that year for LSU. That's the crazy part
Also,
about that whole thing. He wasn't calling plays that year for LSU.
I do not want a play
gonna
caller.
play?
I want a head
So-
coach. That's
So
what I
no-
want.
No to Art Briles. We're
No to
we're
Art
not even
Briles.
considering this.
We're not considering Art Briles. What about though? Hold on.
What if
What about when Jim Harbaugh gets fired from the Baltimore Ravens? Jim Harbaugh? I hate
ain't.
him as a person, but
I'm not opposed to it, but I worry that he would just try to find Maybe
And
not.
then somehow us in Michigan make it to the national championship and we just have a Harbaugh off in the national championship. Like,
That would be something. What
I don't
about
ever
Urban
see-
Meyer? How does everyone feel about Urban Meyer?
Out
Our
on
guy,
Hey.
Urban Meyer.
big
My
Urban
man.
Meyer fan here.
my guy wins championships within
You'll
2 years
win.
of being there. He wins 2
Yeah, you
championships.
will win.
He
Do
wins
you
championship
think
within
we
2
Yeah,
years
if you
of
can,
being there.
if you
pursue
can
that
keep him
thought?
out, if you can keep him out of Northgate and keep him from finger banging college
Oh,
kids, that's
we've already been over this. Campus police isn't letting him go anywhere near Northgate. Campus police will be all over him.
No, as long as he doesn't have weed or a gun, he
Also-
should be fine.
Also, he doesn't have a chop house in Northgate. No one's falling for that. It's just because it was in Columbus. His name was literally on the building.
And there was little statues of him too, which is also very
Yeah,
bizarre.
I mean, he's a weird dude.
Well, dude, if I was him, I'd have statues of myself everywhere too. Come on.
I
Good.
would try to go after Lane Kiffin if we actually fired Jimbo, which we're not going to. I would try to go after Lane Kiffin.
I like Lane Kiffin. If we could get Lane Kiffin, I'm all in. Or
Brian
we can
Kelly
get
in
Michael
the
Leach.
Southern accent or Lane Kiffin.
I'm
Lane
taking
Kiffin.
Lane.
What about Sonny Dykes?
Oh shit, I
Okay.
like that.
Damn, Sonny Dykes, what the hell?
Dude,
I like
dude's
that.
Dude's a monster. He's a monster of a coach.
Hugh
He should be the
Freeze.
Big
What
12
about Hugh
coach of the year,
Freeze?
hands down.
I don't want Hugh Freeze.
I don't
mean,
want to hit Hugh Freeze.
He
Art
will
Briles
be the
is
head.
kinda
He
where
will be
I'm
the
leaning.
TCU head coach of the year if TCU continues. There's no way he doesn't win coach of the year in the Big 12 if TCU continues to win games.
What if?
What
So
about
Gary
he-
Pat-
I
What about
agree.
Gary? What about former disgraced TCU football coach? What about Gary Patterson?
Gary
Nah.
Patterson?
Gary
Nah,
Patterson
nah,
was
nah.
one of those guys. He would have a good year every once in a while, but I don't see him doing that in A&M.
Oh,
He's
I
not
love-
having a
I-
good year at SMU. That's
Okay.
No, he's at,
got
Oh,
he's at
that's Sonny
Texas.
Cumbie. Sonny
Yeah.
Cumbie's
I-
at SMU.
that's
I
right.
got another one. Who said he would take less money for a Power 5 job.
Art Briles.
Jason Brown from Last Chance U. He will get you
No.
guys going.
No.
He'll be embroiled in scandal in a second.
Okay, wait. I'm kind of with Shane here. What if Art Briles was the head coach and Jason Brown was the offensive coordinator?
Okay, let's go.
Oh, Rhett
Now we're
Lashlee was
talking.
SMU coach.
Now we're talking.
What I don't want is what all the teams are doing. Same thing in the NFL. I don't want like the hot shot assistant
No.
coach from
No.
Ohio
I
State.
don't.
I don't want the next Sean McVay. I want a good head coach. I don't want a play caller. I don't want an offensive guru because they suck as head coaches. That's another teaser for when we get to the NFL part. Looking at you, Brandon Staley and Mike McDaniels. Looking at both of you and
I
your
actually
complete
like,
idiocy.
Okay, I'm gonna have to shut up this week on that one. I actually, Austin, I do like the Gary Patterson thing because Blake said he had good seasons here and there. He was also the coach at TCU. You give him the recruits
Yeah,
you
but
get at
he-
A&M, and he.
No.
No, I kind
Oh,
of said that as a
wait,
joke because
wait,
Gary Patterson's
wait.
not.
That's
What?
No,
an
I like.
argument
No, I
because
like Gary Patterson. I like.
He's
Gary
a good
Patterson.
defensive coordinator.
Look
I
at
think.
our
I would take him
baseball
over our defensive
program.
coordinator.
Look at our baseball program. He comes from TCU, comes in, makes it to the World Series.
Oh, wait, I got it. I know exactly what we do. Ted Lasso.
Oh,
He's gone to
Okay,
do.
honestly,
there we go.
He's gone to do soccer and English football. Now bring him over to American football.
Bring him
Let's
back.
do it.
Bring him
Yep.
back to college football.
from
Yeah,
Ted
Wichita,
Lasso.
Kansas, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Boom.
You know, actually, I have a good idea.
We need
This
some
podcast
positivity.
Takes
Uh-oh.
over the coaching staff at
Oh.
A&M.
I'll do special
four.
teams.
Us four run the whole coaching staff, and we just figure it
Jonathan
out
is the
from there.
defensive coordinator for sure because all
Oh,
he
dude,
wants is
we're
violence.
fucking Biden kneecaps, baby. Let's go. I don't care if you got one ass cheek
No.
and 3 fingers. We're kicking your ass.
We are giving bigger NIL. We're gonna bring back the
Oh,
New
dude.
Orleans Saints. If you hurt someone, bigger NIL.
Hell yeah, baby.
dude.
You know,
All right.
the 90s, early 2000 U meets the Saints. Like, we're just paying everybody to fucking hurt people. Let's do
It's,
it.
it's
I'm
really
in.
crazy. I just checked our official email and we've all already been fired from the job after those comments. So
Ah.
it was fun while it lasted, everybody. It was a good one, but yeah, we have now been fired.
They're lost. I'm going
soon
to
to
Jacksonville
be-
State.
Very similar as Jimbo Fisher will probably also soon be fired, unfortunately.
Realistically,
what
Jimbo
about-
will get
whoa.
another year.
Austin,
He'll
you
get
might
fired at
kill
the
me
end of the
for
year,
this.
probably.
Mike Zimmer? Mike Zimmer? Can we bring in
No,
Mike,
Mike
Zimmer?
Zimmer is the worst.
In college, I don't want an NFL coach. Those dudes,
Bro, we
college
ain't-
is so much about recruiting.
It
We're
just
not
I
buying
want
him
an
out. He
NFL.
ain't getting fired
Yeah.
anyways.
Mike
He
Zimmer
ain't getting
also.
fired.
You want to talk about someone who ran a piss poor offense? That would be Mike Zimmer.
Yeah,
like it
that's
should be the
true.
same thing. I do have
I
one
don't-
final comment on the Jimbo / concern. Can he read? Like, is he getting so
No.
old he can't read? Every play is highlighted. How does that help? If every play is highlighted, none of the plays are highlighted. I'm very
He
He don't even know
definitely
what he's
can't
looking at.
see because his glasses are way
Yeah.
the hell down here.
yeah, he's definitely got the old man glasses at the end of the nose are concerning.
His
That's-
son is
that's why
sitting
you
there
can't
saying,
get these
Paul,
kids
Hey.
run play 13. Paul, run play 13.
Can't keep bringing up Jimbo's son. It was a
I didn't
mistake a while ago,
disgrace
but
him.
we don't need it anymore.
We may not see little fish on the sidelines too much longer.
No.
Wait, what does that mean, Blake?
Nothing, but I think that Jimbo is.
Why
Probably
wouldn't we
not.
see him very much longer? I don't
Is
think.
he-
he's
Oh, I was saying
fired.
that Jimbo. I thought Jimbo.
Oh.
I was operating under the assumption that Jimbo's gonna get fired.
Yeah.
Where's little fish going, bro?
But realistically, Jimbo's not getting fired. So
Blake's out here saying either A, Jimbo Fisher dies, B, Jimbo Fisher's career dies, or C, Little Fish
Don't
dies.
say
We're sad. That's sad. That's sad news. You can't be saying those things, Blake. Cannot
well,
be
the
saying
other
those things.
the other thing in the midst of all this is that this offseason somebody asked him, "Would you want to ever go home to West Virginia to coach?" And he said, I wouldn't rule it out. That job's about to be open, so he can walk his ass right to West
Hey,
Virginia.
I will
With
pay for his
$95
moving
million
truck.
in the bank.
I'll pay
Well,
for
it's not
his
my
moving truck.
95. It's not my 95 million.
No, I agree, but the only way I want to let him go is I know that someone competent is coming in.
Yep.
I
Which
don't want to
there's
have
not,
this conversation. I don't want to have this conversation.
there's not a
again
lot of
next
those
week.
guys out there, unfortunately.
There's not.
That, sorry.
And
There are a
here
lot of
is the
guys
thing.
out there, but
Here-
they're never leaving. They're never
here's
leaving.
the thing. If we're gonna do it, I'd rather do it now than wait a couple years when UT and Oklahoma's in, and then we have to go through a coaching change. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
100%
Like-
don't want to do that. I want to be
Like,
the ship needs to be stable when the conference shift changes.
you'll see,
we're
you'll
not
see
doing
all
nothing with him.
you see all the doofuses on the internet being like, oh, well, we're gonna get Dabo. Dabo's not leaving us Clemson for us. It's not happening.
No.
Or
He would leave
No,
it for
Dabo's
Alabama.
waiting
Yeah.
for Nick Saban to kick
Dabo's-
the bucket.
I also
Dabo's waiting for
don't
Nick
really
Saban.
think I want Dabo Sweeney. He's kind of a bumpus.
He's a
He-
he's a
dude,
narcissist.
he is the most annoying head coach in the NFL.
He
or in,
is.
in the NCAA, I can tell you that. He is the worst. He is annoying.
If I had to
Blake-
watch
Blake,
that
I
doofus
think
in
I would
khakis
want a
run 40
narcissist
yards
as
every
my
game
head
day,
coach.
No, but he's a narcissist in the worst way. He's like a narcissist that thinks like him running out in front of the team down the hill in front of the team is bizarre to me. Like he's like, give me all this attention.
No, he's annoying. Like he's,
He's
annoying,
annoying.
for sure.
Like he's a guy. I want to judge my head coach on my ability to sit at a bar and drink a beer with him. I would kill myself before I drank a beer with Dabo Swinney.
Did anyone else
That's a little
when he
drastic.
did that
That
last?
is a little
What was it?
He's the
2 or 3
worst.
weeks ago. Did anyone else hope that fool just either pulled a hammy, pulled an Achilles?
I
or
was waiting
something
for him
and
to
was
fall down
tumbling
that
head
hill.
first?
I just
He
want there to be
annoys the
some.
crap
I
out of
want there
me.
to be like some freshman that's ticked off at him that just takes him out as they're going down the hill. Just a little shove in the back and makes him tumble. That'd be kind of funny. I hope he
His whole
doesn't get
shtick
hurt.
is just
but-
awful.
Dude, at this rate, we might have a freshman punch our head coach in the face. So.
That's possible. No, all of our freshmen they're calm on that green grass, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're all chill.
If he takes that pot away, though, shoot, man, that man
With
might
with
get
with
tough.
NIL, I bet the weed business in College Station is out of this world.
As long as campus police isn't throwing everyone in prison, that's good. While we were talking about them, I have them written down. Let's talk about Clemson. Do they suck? They're undefeated, but do they suck?
But I think they
They're
suck.
not
I
good.
really think they suck.
I think they suck.
But they're gonna make the playoffs and then like get stomped or
That's because
I'm
they're
hoping
playing the weakest conference in today's game.
who's gonna
Sure.
beat them though? Like they keep having these close games, but like who's gonna actually beat them?
Who
No,
will they
no,
play in the
I-
ACC
no, I don't think they
championship?
will.
Who will they play there? Georgia
It
Tech.
depends. NC State.
But Georgia Tech is
Hughes.
horrible.
Georgia Tech might be the worst team in.
Well, I wouldn't. I'm saying who's the other. I don't even. The ACC is so terrible. I don't care who the.
Oh, they
Florida-
have to play
Florida
Notre
State.
Dame. They do have to play Notre Dame.
Notre
And
Dame is
Dame's not-
awful.
No, they're not. They're not good either. But shit,
They're gonna play
Clemson
North
ain't good.
Carolina. North Carolina's already won the Coastal Division, pretty much.
North
Yeah.
Carolina could put up a shit ton of points on Clemson.
It's just, but I'm still on. They're gonna be undefeated, and because they're Clemson, they're gonna make it into the playoffs. They're gonna play.
God
No,
dang,
Georgia,
they've already
Ohio
played
State.
6 division games or conference
there's
games.
too many. There's too many playoff teams this year for the playoffs not to be more than 4 teams.
Who?
I know what you're saying.
Georgia,
I know what you're saying. I think that I
Alabama.
think what you said. I think the way you.
Tennessee, absolutely 100% Tennessee.
Well,
I think the way you phrased it, Jonathan, is
Michigan,
wrong.
Ohio
But-
State. If TCU
okay, stop right
wins
there.
out,
Those
fuck yeah,
no,
TCU.
those are my 5. No, I give you Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Ohio State, Michigan. Those should be the 5
See,
teams in the
No,
playoffs.
this is the year. Sorry, this is the year. There are no traditional, and by that I mean since the playoffs have started, there are maybe 2 teams, in my opinion, that are playoff teams. However, this would be the best year for an 8-team playoff because it would be anyone could beat anyone. Like Georgia looks vulnerable. Like they don't look like Alabama looks vulnerable. Like I don't think there's any team that I'm like sitting here like, yeah, that's clearly the best team in the country.
Next
I think
weekend,
Ohio State clearly.
I like-
looks
I
better
like
than
Tennessee.
everyone they play.
No,
I don't think Ohio State looked. I mean, they killed freaking.
They were up 51
Whoever.
to what? 14 at half?
against Iowa, who's
Iowa.
is just the
Iowa
worst offense I've
sucks.
ever seen in my life. It's
and-
worse than A&M's. It's
No,
worse
I
than
understand.
A&M's offense.
No, I understand that, but you're what I'm saying is from who they are playing, they look better than everybody else. Just
Well,
hands
yeah,
down.
it's the Big Ten. It's
I
the
mean,
Big Ten.
if you're gonna say that, Tennessee looks better than everyone that they're. I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm saying
Tennessee has had close games.
They had
okay.
one close game. Alabama was their only close game, wasn't it?
Wasn't Florida a close game until the very
They played Florida- they-
last 3 minutes of the game?
They play Florida Saturday, I think. Don't
No,
they?
Georgia does.
Ohio State only beat Notre Dame by 11. Notre Dame's not good. I mean,
Okay. Notre Dame has
Notre Dame sucks.
2
Johnny.
losses.
all I'm saying is
Is
I
that
think
true? That's not true. They have at least
They
3.
lost
Don't
their
they?
first 3 games.
Stanford, Marshall, Ohio
and
State.
Ohio State. I'm just saying,
Oh.
I think this is the best year for an 8-team playoff. And I think that truly this would be one of the very few years where going into the playoffs, I would think that anyone can beat anyone. I think that's going to happen this year. I think going into the playoffs this year, this is the committee's hardest year as of it's currently October 25th. Currently, as of October 25th, I think this is the playoffs the committee's hardest job. Because
There's going to be 6 teams that are in contention legitimately.
you tell me
At
out
least.
of here are
And
The-
that's not
currently-
counting a Big 12 champion who could be TCU sitting with 0 losses.
so here's currently according to the the AP top 25 numbers 4 through 8 are currently Michigan is 4, Clemson is 5, Alabama is 6, TCU is 7, Oregon is 8.
If Oregon, okay, everyone's been talking about Oregon should get in. That is complete BS because they
Oh, yeah.
let us off. No, in 2020, they held an Alabama game in the second week of the season against us the entire way. You cannot get blown out by 50 and make the playoff. Clearly, you can't.
But Bo,
Okay. Forget
is
Oregon.
having a better year.
For-
I mean,
You can
If
forget
they make the
Oregon.
playoff,
Stupid
I will
numbers,
have
man.
an aneurysm.
Can you tell me with extreme confidence, is Michigan better than TCU?
no,
Is
Michigan
Michigan
is
out
one of-
better than Alabama?
no, I can't tell you with
Like,
extreme confidence.
I'm
that
saying
any
those-
of these teams.
I think those 4 teams are so close that's what I'm saying for the playoff committee. It's
The
a
committee-
No,
the
I
committee's
agree. I
decision.
agree with you. That's what
The
I was
committee's
saying.
gotta
I
hope-
don't think there's enough playoff spots for all the teams that are playoff. teams.
Agreed.
Which is why I was
We
on.
need an expansion.
We go to 8.
Austin.
We go to no. I'm on that. Do you know who's currently number 12 in the country?
Tulane or something.
One minute,
UCLA.
what? Ah,
UCLA. You're telling me.
DTR,
You're
baby.
telling me that.
DTR.
Yeah, but
TCU
UCLA won't get in.
I no, but in the future, when there's a 12-team playoff,
They won't. No, it's
I-
gonna be 6.
I understand, but I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, I agree
mean,
with you.
that's even worse. I'm saying 8 was good enough. 8 was good enough.
I agree with that. I think 8 is fine.
Still-
I'm in favor of having more regardless.
Because currently in the top 8, you have all 5 power conferences. You have the SEC, you have the Big 12, you have the Big 10, you have the ACC, and you have the Pac-12. All 5 of them are hit, and then you have 3 at-large bids. 8 is good.
The committee is sitting back right now, hoping that TCU loses. It has to lose one, and Clemson.
No, I
need to
like
lose one.
TC. I like TC. They need one of the 2 of them to lose. I like TCU being in over Clemson. I think they're better than Clemson.
I'm still very curious to see. In 2 weeks, a lot will be revealed. If Georgia beats Tennessee, that's when you start getting a little dicey. If Georgia loses, they're out. I think
Tennessee. Is that game in Athens?
it's in Athens.
Okay. If
Why do you-
Tennessee walks into Athens and beats them, if they're not the number 1 seed over Ohio State, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. Tennessee plays some good football.
And
Dude,
they've
if
beaten like
if-
6 ranked teams, haven't they?
Correct. Tennessee's playing some great football right now.
If they become
beat-
number 1, I'm flying to Knoxville and taking the goalpost and throwing it in the river.
You'll be the
That's
only one there.
incredible.
Okay, but if Tennessee loses by a field goal to Georgia and wins out, then what do you do?
That's what I'm saying. That's where it
Oh,
gets really
Yeah,
confusing.
that's where it gets dicey.
Because how do you hold Tennessee loses to the defending national champions, potentially one of the top 2 teams in the nation,
Yeah.
and you hold a 3-point loss in Athens
On the road, yeah.
and keep them out of the playoff?
Plus,
Yeah.
plus
ridiculous.
four top 10 wins on top of that.
Now,
That's why I think it's confusing.
if you look at some of those teams on there, some of them have to lose because they play each other. Like Michigan and
Michigan,
Ohio
Ohio
State,
State.
someone's
That
got to
was all
lose.
itself.
This
Right.
is the problem with having divisions and conferences.
And TCU, it's very likely that
They're
are
going to
going
drop
to
a
lose.
game at some point.
Oregon,
Do you know they
very
have
likely they will
literally-
drop another game.
They have played more games against backup quarterbacks than they have played against starting quarterbacks.
TCU,
Exactly why they will lose a game.
TCU.
Yeah.
TCU has won all these games, and they have played more backups than starters.
well, yeah, and in the K-State game this past weekend, didn't Martinez get knocked out, and then that's when the TCU comeback started.
Correct.
So now that I've said all these things, does not make me feel very good about my TCU bet this weekend. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hey, I'm riding that train until they let me down. And then I'm going to get off of it, unlike Shane, who just kept holding on
Hey.
for a week.
We'll get there later. Shane is finally off the Kansas Jayhawks, so good for him. He's finally off the Jayhawks. You might
No,
want to jump.
no more
Might-
rock chalk Jayhawk.
Hey, you might want to jump back on there later in the season when they get they're going to get some favorable lines later in the season. And you never know. Maybe they'll upset Texas again. Who knows? We'll find out.
They are good at it.
They've done it twice in their
Twice
entire
in 10 years.
and
But
twice
in all fairness,
twice in like
that was-
twice in like 120 years.
But in all fairness, that was like 2 of like 4 total Big 12 wins in the past decade.
Yeah, exactly.
That is true.
When they're going to win a game, it's going to
It's
be
going to be in
against
Austin.
Texas.
So we are finally getting. I mean, it's the worst part of college football season for us, because our team is terrible and there's nothing to look forward to. But we're getting to
Chaos.
the exciting part of college football where you can just yell at each other about who deserves to be in the playoffs for hours.
Yep.
And it's good times.
Oh,
It's good times.
Next week when the playoff rankings get first released, it's going to be, oh, my
Mhm.
team got screwed. My team got screwed. It's like, brother, it's going to solve itself most likely.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Just-
let's do that next week. We should all 4 of us should bring our 4 for the playoffs, and we should update it every week.
What day does the college football playoff committee? Is it
Tuesday.
Sunday night? It's Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So everyone's got to make a commitment to not look at the actual rankings. We will do our rankings, and then live on the podcast, we will look at what did the college football playoff committee say and see who's the closest.
Are we trying to guess what the committee's going to do?
No, you're going to
No.
say who you think the 4 should be.
Okay.
And then we will discuss how the committee is wrong, because that's just what we do here. Because we know better than the committee as well.
That's a fact.
the
Hollywood
Those
committee
dudes
wants more football.
sit on
That's a fact.
those dudes sit on uncomfy chairs in suits, crack open a beer, sit on a sofa, and have a good time, and then you really know what's going on.
So
I think it should be televised what they're talking about.
Oh, that would be so entertaining. I'd watch the shit out of that.
out of all the teams that we talked about, Ohio State and Tennessee both play ranked opponents this week. So those are the teams to be watching out for. Obviously, if any of the other teams lose to unranked opponents, then they're gone. So, Ohio State plays at Happy Valley, which Penn State does not impress me. So I think
Penn
Ohio
State they'll get beat by 40.
Are we just doing?
Yeah.
Are we just doing the top 4 or the top 6 like they do?
we can do we'll talk about, I don't know, we can do 6, we can do 4, whatever. Definitely do 4, because that's the ones that we're going to pay attention to the most, and then you can pick your 5 and 6. And Tennessee plays Kentucky at home, so another ranked opponent for Tennessee.
Will Levis.
I believe Will
And
Levis
then-
is playing, so
Then it's potentially the game of the century in Athens,
Ooh.
Georgia.
I can't wait for that game. It's gonna be good stuff.
What's the
I think
date
I'm
on
gonna
that
go. I'm
game?
going to tailgate it.
Is
I'm
that
going
the,
to tailgate.
Is that the 5th?
Next. It's not this weekend. It's the next one.
Friday,
I'm having
November
a house
4th.
party that weekend.
Wait, why is it on a Friday?
No, it's not on Friday.
It's on
Why
Saturday.
Why does it say
3:30.
Friday? ESPN says Friday, November 4th.
I will be so pissed if it's on a Friday.
Ooh,
It's not
all
on
right.
a Friday.
I doubt it. I think it's just talking about the week.
It's
Let's-
Saturday, November 5th at 3:30.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
play guess the line. I know that y'all kind of just looked at it, but
I didn't see the
currently
line.
Georgia is favorited by how many points over Tennessee in Athens?
4.5. 4.5. The college odds are so hard though because they'll probably be 15-point favorites.
Did you already see it, Blake?
No, I haven't seen it.
I haven't
I
seen
would,
it either.
I would say probably 2.5.
I was gonna say 3.5. So
It's 9.5, isn't it?
It's 13 and a half.
what?
I hate college.
Like, ooh, I want to take that line so bad right now, just because the Vols can score points.
They can score, yeah.
They can
They
score
may,
but-
lose.
Okay.
All right.
That's crazy.
While you guys go, I'm going to my bookie, my shameless plug, and if they have this line up for some reason, which they probably don't, I am freaking betting that.
The only problem with betting a week before is like they have a game this
Injury.
weekend. There could be injury.
I don't-
But,
I don't give a.
hey, that's
flip.
why it's called gambling, baby. We're
That's a
taking
lot
some
of
risks
points.
every once. 13 and a half is a lot of points.
College is
That's
so
it.
like the NFL, you can like name 2 teams and be like, oh, that's probably about 4.5.
Yeah, and
College,
in the NFL, anytime I see a line over 10 points, I'm just like, what?
yeah.
I'm nervous immediately. On my
College, almost every
spreadsheet,
line is over 10 points.
I immediately, if there's a line over 10 points in the NFL, I highlight it red. I'm like, staying away from that one.
No,
The
they won't
Bills-
let-
Bills Packers this weekend at 10 and a half.
10.5, heck no.
No way.
Run far away.
Even though the Bills should just destroy the Packers. I'm just
But
like,
Aaron
nope.
Rodgers still has a chance.
Nope. All right. Does anyone have any last college football things we want to talk about?
Chaos, baby. Root for chaos.
We're rooting for chaos, except for I would like to see Tennessee make the playoffs, which I will
That'd be
I will call
chaotic
that
to me.
I'll call that chaos. So we'll go with that.
They started the season unranked, so that's chaos.
All right, it's time to move on to our NFL slate, or our NFL segment, which, wouldn't you know it, has another sponsor. This week's NFL segment is brought to you by the Father Time Retirement Home. When it's time, it's time. So the three geezers had another rough weekend with I mean, I know that we're gonna throw Matt Ryan in the mix here with the three geezers, but really he's not the same as Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. But Matt Ryan, here we go. We are gonna mention Matt Ryan just to be all fair. Benched for Sam Ellinger for the rest of the year. All right, we're done.
So does he just retire? Does he just retire?
I don't know. No, you keep getting that
No,
paycheck. Don't retire.
He's making too much money.
All right, Matt
Well,
Ryan.
he's technically hurt, but
Matt Ryan is discussed. Let's talk about the two big boys. Tom Brady, 3 points against the Carolina Panthers, loses
And
to
Mike
PJ
Evans
Walker.
Mike Evans point shaving scandal, signing the referee's notebook.
Yeah, he was looking for some golf tips. And Aaron Rodgers both of them just look terrible this year. I will say this, as everyone in the national media has just been burying the two of them, can we finally prove that the offensive line is important for a quarterback success? And all of the years that they've been dogging, these. Now, I'm not saying that it's all the offensive line's fault, but they've been dogging these young quarterbacks and how they can't be as good as Brady or Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning back in the day. Like, it helps. What a surprise when Tom Brady's getting sacked 5 times a game, he doesn't look as good. It's incredible. It's like, what a crazy statistic.
The offensive line is the most important
Agreed.
piece of the offense.
Always build the trenches. The trenches are the most
100%.
important part of football. You need some
big uglies.
That's
Get
why
some
when you're looking to
fucking
draft, it's not attractive. I am big on taking offensive linemen in the first round.
If you've got
100%.
If you've got a just, generational talent, which we've seen, like if you can get you a Jamar Chase, a Justin Jefferson,
Agreed.
Go for it.
I'm not taking a quarterback.
But yeah,
these quarterbacks, it's not even their fault. They get put in terrible situations.
When did Zappy get drafted? Because he looks great.
Yeah,
6th round or something.
He didn't look super great last night.
He went in and they got a lot of energy for a short bit of time, and then it was like, we're done.
He started throwing
hilarious.
Yeah.
So the Manning broadcast had Vince Vaughn on, and they kept showing Mac Jones, and Vince Vaughn was like, "Hey man, I think you should put Jones back in the game. I think you should put Jones back in." And Peyton goes, "Nah, it's too late now. They're riding with Zappy." And Zappy throws that pick, and Vince Vaughn goes, "Should have put Jones back in the game."
I tell you what, when he went on that 14 little point run, I said Mac Jones is dead. Like, he can never come back in the game. He is dead. And then it kind of went downhill.
He looked so upset when he didn't go back in the game. He looked so mad.
Would you see him go up to Aguilar? He said, "I'm fucking out. I'm out."
And I noticed that Shane sent in the group text that he would happily invite him with open arms to New Orleans.
Mac Jones sucks. I'm sorry.
I don't think he's that great either.
Mac Jones
I like him.
Has the exact same benefit that Tua had in college, where he threw to guys who are always wide open.
Yep.
And you see this in the NFL that they struggle.
He had a pretty good rookie season.
He played okay. He played
okay last year.
He played okay.
Him,
that's it.
His floor is right here compared to the other guys. Their floor is down here.
Thing.
But his ceiling is about right there too.
Okay, football in this league for a quarterback is not good enough is bizarre to me. There are 4 or 5 good quarterbacks. Everyone else is just okay.
No,
there are not great fucking quarterbacks all throughout this league.
That's fine. But you cannot be an okay quarterback and have a turnover problem. And Mac Jones has a turnover problem. There's a difference.
Yeah,
You
There's
can
a
be
difference.
Cooper Rush. You can be
Daniel
Cooper Rush.
Jones this season is the prime example. He's playing okay. He's not turning the ball over. 6-1.
No,
Turnovers kill you.
That's not Daniel Jones. That Daniel Jones is
I-
not winning those games.
Daniel Jones has more rushing
I-
first downs than Saquon Barkley.
Daniel
no,
Jones has
that's
led
different.
a fourth quarter comeback in every game.
Don't
Daniel
slander
Jones
Dan
actually
Jones.
looks,
You're missing
looks
the point.
okay. He looks,
The
he
idea
looks
that
pretty
slander
Mac
good.
Dan
Jones
Jones.
is just ridden off the ship after what 16 games in his entire career.
I mean,
We're just riding
More than
off,
that, but-
riding him off.
no, I'm not writing him off. I'm saying if he doesn't fix his turnover problem, then the
There's-
NFL will write him off.
Oh my god!
I will trade Jameis
There's
Winston for
so
Cooper
many fucking
Kush right
quarterbacks
now.
playing in this league that are not as good as not as good as Mac Jones.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. I mean, PJ Walker started at quarterback this week.
That's
Hey,
what I'm saying. The
PJ
fact of
Walker's
the
a
matter
winner.
Is Mac okay quarterback play is pretty much normal for the entire league right now.
If you
That's
don't
fi-
turn the ball over.
If you don't turn the
throw
ball over,
There's
then
interceptions,
that's
not
fine.
great quarterbacks in the league. There's honestly not.
you can
There's just
have
not.
hey, you can have Cooper Rush stats where you throw the ball for 150 yards a game, 0 turnovers, you will win the game.
You will win more than half of the games.
You will win 75% of the games.
Oh,
Jimmy G has proven that. Jimmy G has proven that before
Two
this
NFC
year so far.
championships.
Yep, and he is not great. He just does what he's
Does
asked
the
of
job.
him, and
Although
who-
Sunday,
You know
Sunday he
who
was
else
terrible.
won 7 Super Bowls being just a game manager quarterback who doesn't turn the football over and has a great defense for
Tom
his
Brady.
entire career? Tom Brady. Now,
And a great O line.
that's
Yeah, and
not
great line.
100% true. Tom Brady used to throw to nobodies and make them look good.
His second year he played in the league, that was the case.
Let's say
Tom
1
Brady-
year.
Tom Brady had all day to throw. He's the GOAT.
he's the GOAT
He's
Like,
the GOAT.
because he
But he
plays
did
smart
it.
football.
Blatant disrespect to say that he just took care of the ball.
He
Like,
did.
No, that's
He
not
did. That's
true.
not a bad thing.
But
That's
it's
a great
not. It's
thing.
not a true statement either.
It
to say
is.
he just. That's just what he did. He wasn't great. He just took
No,
care of
it
the
is.
ball. Like he was fucking great.
No,
He's
yes.
literally
Johnny.
the best quarterback
Johnny, the
ever to
problem
play the
is-
game.
No. You
How
know
many
what
how
Tom
many
Brady's
INTs?
greatest?
How many INTs has he thrown this year?
I don't
Probably
know.
6,
I'd
7.
have to look.
One single interception.
One.
Tom Brady also, in my opinion, is the smartest quarterback in the NFL ever.
That-
Because
that's-
what
that's-
he understood is if the defense is going to give you 4 yards every
Take the 4
play,
yards.
take it every time. Because you know what 4 times 3
for
is?
sure.
12. And that's more than a first down. Tom Brady is the classic.
Exactly.
He is a game manager quarterback, which is
Which
all
is
you
that
need
exactly
to be,
what you want in the NFL.
which is all you need to be as long as you
No.
don't turn it over. Mac Jones is also
I
a
agree.
game manager quarterback who throws picks and fumbles.
The
Who's
difference
also-
between Tom Brady
Who's also
and, no,
22 years old.
Okay.
yeah,
I'm saying
but
I'm not saying he's done. I'm saying if he doesn't fix his turnover problem, he will
He
be
will be
done by the time he's 25. He will be
Okay.
a
Johnny, the
backup.
difference between Tom Brady. Oh man.
I'm not comparing Mac Jones to Tom Brady. I'm stating the idea that he's going to be ridden off the ship
Ooh,
by
I
25.
have the
No.
perfect comparison. I have the perfect comparison.
Blasphemy.
You know who's a game managing quarterback
Who?
who turns the ball over all the
Who?
time and is no longer in the NFL? He's a backup. Sam Darnold.
Yep.
Sam Darnold is about to be the starter again.
No, PJ
My-
Walker is.
He's
My
the-
thing about Tom
Yeah,
Brady
when Sam
is,
Wanna
Darnold
know?
gets healthy,
I'm not
he
sa-
will be the starter.
Okay.
When Sam Darnold is healthy, he will be the starter.
You can't turn the ball over.
110% Sam Darnold.
And they may
is the
not win
starter.
a game this year. They may
Yeah.
not win another game
Oh
with Sam
my
Darnold as
God.
your quarterback. He may be the starter. He's playing he's up against the guy
And I
that was like an
guarantee you-
XFL guy.
I guarantee you this. If they can look at if the Panthers look at their roster and Baker's gone, Sam Darnold's all they got, and Mac Jones came and knocking, they would fucking take Mac Jones.
Correct.
110%.
That doesn't mean it's an improvement.
That doesn't mean anything.
It could absolutely be an improvement.
They
It
thought
could.
Baker Mayfield was an improvement. He wasn't. Because
Throws
you know what Baker
interceptions.
did at the beginning of this year as a game managing
Get
quarterback?
fucking sacked and get
He
hit
also
all
turned the ball
fucking
over.
time, because what we were just talking about having a fucking offensive line fucking matters.
Okay. Hey,
It
You would be
fucking
correct.
matters. Joe Burrow looked like the worst goddamn quarterback in the goddamn league earlier this year because he was
Hey,
getting
hey,
his ass
whoa.
fucking hit every 2 seconds.
hey, everyone. Do you know who used to play for the Cleveland Browns, which is the #1 offensive line in football, but still led the league in interceptions and then got cut for Deshaun Watson and traded to the Carolina Panthers? His name is Baker Mayfield, which game managing was no longer enough. And so because he turned the football over. Jonathan, you're muted.
Well,
My thing.
that'd be great.
Hey, wait.
The
My
privilege
thing
of
about
fucking
Tom
muting
Brady.
someone because you don't want to fucking have your point fucking
Hey.
ripped apart.
I
You
just
haven't ripped
did-
apart
Johnny.
anyone's point.
Johnny, the thing about Tom Brady is a lot of game managers at some point try to do too much. Tom Brady, as a game manager, has never tried to do too much. He does what needs to be done to win football games. It's like Andy Dalton would be what I consider as a game manager. But at certain points in the game, he tries to do too much. If I could just it doesn't have to be Tom flipping Brady, but a game manager that just does take the 4-yard check down, take whatever the the defense gives you, and you will win football games. That's what Tom Brady is great at.
And Tom Brady
think
also
comparing any 22-year-old to 25-year-old to Tom Brady is a
okay.
terrible
I have
way.
compared
We're not trying to compare him to Tom
That's
Brady.
I
terrible way
compared
of
him to
looking at
multiple other quarterbacks that are around his age
Okay,
or in his.
Your argument
only-
was Baker Mayfield, who literally played all season last year, hurt.
Okay. What
and
about the
had
years
more-
previously?
Had more dropped passes by wide receivers than probably 90% of the fucking league last year.
He also has led the league in interceptions and turnovers since his
You can't
introduction to
turn
the
the ball
league.
over.
Hey, thank you
Andy
for sharing
Dalton is
the
30
exact
years
same
old.
similar
Andy
stat that I
Dalton is
just said.
30.
How many goddamn tips did he have last year that went into defensive hands?
How many were just straight up bad passes? All of his picks are not
No,
tipped
for-
passes.
For sure, but there's plenty of fucking quarterbacks that do that shit.
Well, you can't turn the ball over regardless
There's
of how it
goddamn
happens.
Plenty of fucking
I don't care if you
quarterbacks that
fumble
do
it.
that
I don't
shit.
care if you throw interceptions. You can't turn the ball over. That's the
I
only point.
100% agree. I 100% agree. But what I'm saying is the fact that we're just going to write off a kid is blasphemy. That's just crazy.
No one's riding him off. They're just saying you got to stop turning the ball.
Would
over.
you like to
Quit
know
turning the
Mac
ball.
Jones's TD to interception ratio right now? 6 INTs, 2 touchdowns.
Once
How-
again,
That is
How
pretty
many-
disgusting.
Oh my God.
we did not
hasn't
say
even
that
been
Mac
healthy all year.
Jones.
He's
We did
literally
not
been
say
hurt
that Mac
all year.
Jones shouldn't be a quarterback in the NFL. All we have said today is if he doesn't fix his turnovers, he will not be
He
a
won't be
quarterback
a
in the
quarterback.
NFL. That is all we have said.
I would actually say that's incorrect because I look around the league and I'd rather have him than a lot of fucking quarterbacks in this league. A lot of them.
So let's say he finishes
I'd
finishes
rather have
this
him
year.
than Russell fucking Wilson, bro.
Well, that's not saying a whole lot because he kind of sucks.
He's won Super Bowls.
Hey,
He
he
kinda
did not
Super
say
Bowl.
Bronco. He did not say Broncos country. Let's ride after post game last game.
That's
That's
right.
not. That's
do
that's
it.
bad. Not.
I'm
looking
just saying,
good.
like, the fact of the matter is what my whole point is the quarterback play in the whole NFL overall is fucking bad. It's not good.
I agree with
there's-
you. I agree
There's
with
six
you.
guys.
There's
There's
not a lot
six
of
guys,
good quarterbacks,
and then
dude.
there's 6 guys, and then there's the rest.
Oh, there's
Six,
more
and
than
then there's the
six.
rest.
There's
maybe 6.
no.
maybe
There's so
6.
many. There are so many levels. There are so many levels to quarterback play in the NFL.
It's- there's 3 guys that are good.
So
like,
you're it's
really
okay.
fucking good.
All right. So after that, after your 3, so you're telling me right now, the Las Vegas Raiders, Derek Carr, Mac Jones, they're the same. They're the same
No.
No.
because there's levels.
No,
There's
there's,
a-
levels.
levels.
There's a lot of
absolutely
levels. And
but
Mac
that
Jones,
lower level has more quarterbacks than 90. Like
for sure.
there is small levels, and then there's this really big level at the bottom that you could jumble up those quarterbacks and throw them all back in random teams, and it wouldn't change a whole lot.
Then
I-
I
you're
also-
right. But why would
I
you
also
want
think
any of the
if I was a
quarterbacks
GM
from that level?
Oh my God. The whole point is okay. So here's this level, right? Here's this
Yeah.
level of quarterbacks that you can have.
Okay, I know what
And
you're
then
saying.
there's these undrafted playing in semi-pro arena football leagues, and these
You
are the
do
other
not
guys
want
you can
those.
pick. Are you picking these
You don't
guys, or
want
are you
those.
picking
No.
these guys?
I'm saying all of the guys that are in that level at the bottom before the XFL arena football leagues, all of their teams, when it comes to the NFL draft, are looking for a quarterback. And if
Yeah.
they find the one, then you're gone and you're
You're
not
right.
in the NFL
You're right.
anymore.
There are 1 to 2 rookies that get to play every fucking year, and there are like 7 drafted in the first like 3 rounds. You're right.
No,
1 or 2
we're
of
in
them
the,
get to
no,
play.
we're in the era nowadays where people don't let quarterbacks sit. If you draft a quarterback early, they want
That's
to
not
play them.
true. That's not true. That's
Yeah,
not true.
way more so than it was about
What?
10 years
Yes,
ago.
Yes.
way more
yes.
so than
That's
it
what I'm
was,
saying.
like,
That's what I
10
just
years ago,
said.
but that's not
That's what-
true. Kenny,
I
wait,
think it's
name 2 starters that are rookies right now.
Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's the only one you can name.
I
what
just
about
off the
last
top of my
year?
head immediately.
What about last year? You had Jalen Hurts, you had Mac Jones, you had
Yeah, last year.
There's about
That's it.
4 of them that all played.
What, Johnny?
Trevor
What we're not
Lawrence,
saying
Trevor
right now. We're
Lawrence.
saying when we were
Just in
kids.
general.
When we were kids, yes,
Davis
you
Mills.
drafted a quarterback. You drafted a quarterback. You let him sit for 3 years. They don't do that anymore.
Yeah, and that might be the fucking problem.
I would
I-
agree.
I
I would
agree.
There
agree
you
with
go.
that.
That's your fucking
I
problem.
agree.
Blake and Austin
Because-
don't want 18-year-old freshmen playing in college football. Maybe a 22-year-old shouldn't be starting for a billion-dollar fucking franchise.
I think
Is
our point
Bailey
was that,
Zappi a rookie? Is Bailey Zappi a
yeah,
rookie?
he's a rookie. He's a
Boom,
rookie.
2, done.
What,
Is he a
we have to
rookie?
look it
He's
up.
23 years old, so he's
20.
possibly a rookie.
Sorry, 23.
Skylar Thompson started a game.
I thought
He's-
Zappy got drafted.
Yeah,
last
he's a rookie. He's a rookie
Hmm.
Oh,
I
from
also
guess-
Victoria,
to
Texas.
play devil's.
Sam Ellinger is
devil's
not a
advocate
rookie.
here?
Is Sam Ellinger a rookie?
no.
Not a
Sam
rookie. I
Ellinger
can't
is not
No,
a
remember
rookie.
when he
he's
graduated.
been
He's
there for
3 years in.
Also, the average quarterback lifespan in the NFL is 4 years.
Yep.
That's all I'm
No,
saying.
I
I'm just saying
understand-
Mac
I
Jones needs to
understand.
fix
My
his.
argument is there's not good quarterbacks. Like,
Yeah,
it
no
doesn't
one has
matter
they'll
where
have
you
on that.
fucking look. They're not
There will
good.
be 8 quarterbacks in the draft, and one of these teams these days, they're like they reach for these guys that we probably knew were never going to be good to begin with, but then they just replace them.
Yeah,
That's
so-
what I was gonna say. Hey Johnny, if I was a GM, like say of the Raiders, I would rather right now, just to load up my team, I would rather have a cheap Mac Jones over a Derek Carr so that I can load up everyone around him. And then in 2 years, I can draft a young guy when I suck because I'm the Raiders. I can get a young guy, let him go in there and see what he's got. Do I agree with starting young guys? No, but that's the league we're in now. They start young guys. So if that's what we're going to do, load up around him to where he does not have to throw 40 times a game. Let him
Kenny
hand the
Pickett.
ball off. Let him throw. Yeah,
So-
let him. Well, I mean, it's
so
not
you're
working good for
asking
Kenny
for
Pickett. That's the damn truth.
you're asking to be relevant once in every 60, 70 years because Joe Burrow is basically your young guy that comes in and finally gets to the Super Bowl.
No, but the
Pat
league,
Mahomes gets
the
to the
league,
Super Bowl.
the league we're
Like, you're looking for a
league we're in-
generation talent.
What do you call
take your
relevance?
team
Is
to
the
that level.
question. What do you call relevance?
I'm talking like if you're not making it to
Like,
conference finals.
do you call
like, you're
Ben?
not.
Do you call Ben? Okay, only 2 teams can make it to the conference finals.
No,
so,
I understand. That means there's 4 fucking teams that make it every year to a
so
conference
only
final.
4 teams are relevant every year. So
No,
you're telling me that like
if you're not
the
in
Pittsburgh
contention, why the
Steelers,
fuck are you doing it? What's the
There's-
point of being a team if you're not trying to win? Like,
they're
what's
all
the point?
they're trying to win,
They're all
Jonathan.
trying.
But like
Throwing
the ball-
throwing a rookie quarterback with no help is not a good idea.
you
either.
can't tell me.
I'm the one arguing against the rookie quarterback, Blake.
I'm telling you, Jonathan, the Baltimore Ravens of the past 6 years.
Yes, we'll never be there because Lamar Jackson
They've
fucking
been relevant.
blows.
They
And no
have
matter
been
what, you
relevant.
cannot tell me that the Baltimore Ravens have not been relevant in the past 6 years. They didn't make it to the conference finals. They've been a relevant football team. They've almost made it. They've held the Chiefs to very close games in the playoffs and all of these things. They've almost made it. They are a
Dude.
relevant football team.
It's just that's baffling to me.
The Green
They
Bay
almost
Packers have been relevant. The Green
A&M's
Bay
a
Packers
relevant
have been
football
relevant
team
for
because we
12
almost made
years.
the playoffs a few years ago.
Last
you're not
year,
relevant.
Made it.
last
Like,
year,
dude,
A&M
that's
was a
so
relevant football
stupid.
team.
That's so stupid. If you're not a top tier team, you're not a top tier team. That's just the way
Johnny,
it is.
it's super hard. It's super hard to win in the NFL. You're
I
not going to be
understand, but
relevant
why
every
would
year.
you be okay
If you take your
this
category
idea
of
of
relevancy, it's very
being
hard.
mediocre? Like this
What?
idea of
I don't
will
understand
build
the
my
argument
team.
anymore.
Hey,
Nobody's
John-
saying we're okay with being mediocre, but there's different ways
No.
to build a team.
You're building
to
your
become
team
good.
to have a quarterback that's young, so you don't have to pay a quarterback that you've
No,
built.
I don't think that's what anyone's saying though.
Shane just said if he was
No.
the GM of the
No,
Raiders, he
I
would
said-
build his
No, he was
whole
saying-
team and then draft a kid and hope it worked out.
No, then you let him sit. That was the whole point. Then you
He
let him
didn't say
sit.
Yeah.
He said I would
Yes, he did.
draft him and I hope it works out.
At the beginning of this argument, I'm the one that said that I think it's a mistake that we play young guys right out the bat.
I
Let them
agree.
sit for 3 years. Let them sit for 4 years. Let them
I
sit
agree. It
and
ain't gonna
learn.
be the
Aaron,
way
Aaron said,
fucking
Which goes
freaking-
against my argument of playing Connor Weigman, but whatever.
college football is different.
totally different.
Man, this
You're
is
not
going to get
playing a
really
40-year-old
exciting at the
man.
end of the podcast when we rank NFL quarterbacks. I'm very excited. It's going to be a great time. Oh, it's going to be so good.
Johnny's gonna have
Mac Jones, number 3.
No,
4
Not at all.
ones.
Mac Jones
Okay.
to me is in the bottom tier, but it's just the argument that he could just be pushed out of the league and no one would pick him up is crazy.
Oh,
Somebody very
Johnny,
well might
he
pick him up.
can.
he'll be a great backup somewhere.
Dude, Carolina would take him over PJ any day.
Yeah,
Like,
Well,
there's
that's not
no
saying
By
much.
the
They
t-
have 2 other quarterbacks.
Jonathan, by
No
the
fucking
time
chance.
that Mac Jones gets pushed out, Carolina will have drafted another
Have-
quarterback.
Holy shit. Geno fucking Smith would be replaced by Mac Jones tomorrow if Pete Carroll could get his hands on him.
That is
No,
slander,
no,
and that is not true.
No,
Gino is
That's
fucking
bullshit.
balling.
All right. All right.
Geno Smith is like 36 years old and has done fucking
True.
nothing.
He's 32.
Top-
He's currently probably third in the MVP race this year.
That was
Um,
slander.
And he is running Pete Carroll's offense the exact way that Pete Carroll wants him to run it. Why would he go get another quarterback?
Oh my God.
I mean,
Dude,
I
Geno
know,
has
Jonathan,
garbage.
I know that you
Balling.
are adamant about this and
Garbage.
you're going to shout over everyone's and yell because that's your argument style. But Pete Carroll, whose
I've literally
whose
presented
team was only
points
supposed to
in all
win
these
4.5 games.
I've
Pete,
presented points in all my arguments. I've presented
Okay.
what I believe
They're
is
going to go to the
true,
playoffs.
correct.
and
They're
you're
gonna
the
go to
one
the
that
playoffs.
muted me during the argument to put in your 2 cents. Like,
No,
get the fuck
because
out of here.
I'm not
Me
saying that.
over yelling you. That's not true at all.
I did not say that you haven't presented any points, but all of your points are being shouted. Pete Carroll, who was supposed to win 4.5
I'm fucking
games this
loud.
year.
Everyone knows I'm loud.
Hey, look at that. It happened again. Pete Carroll, who was supposed to win 4.5 football games this year, who's already at that total with Geno Smith, who Geno Smith is playing a very good season this year, is not going to If Pete Carroll cut Geno Smith for Mac Jones, everyone, including his boss, is calling for his head.
He would need to be
Geno Smith
institutionalized.
winning games, or is it Pete Carroll might actually be a really good coach?
Geno is balling.
Geno's playing great football.
So Pete Carroll has nothing to do with that?
I didn't say that. Geno Smith is running Pete Carroll's offense to perfection.
Because the way it looks is Russell Wilson really just owes his whole career to Pete Carroll.
That may be true.
That I don't agree with that at all. Russell Wilson.
What do you mean?
Russell Wilson
what do you
was
mean?
amazing.
The dude went to Denver and forgot how to play football. Is that what happened?
Do you realize that the offense that Geno Smith is running is completely different than the offense that Russell Wilson played when he was there?
So you're saying a coach made adjustments to a player?
Yeah, I'm not saying that Pete Carroll's not a good coach.
My whole point. My whole point is Pete Carroll might be a better coach than Geno Smith, the player.
That might be true.
That might be true, but that doesn't mean that he's
Geno's
going to
still balling.
change. That doesn't mean that Pete Carroll's going to want to change. Now, yes, if Pete Carroll could get Patrick Mahomes, I'm sure he will be like, oh, I'll take Patrick Mahomes for Geno Smith because there's different levels there.
Beginning of the season, you're Pete Carroll. And you're presented with the choice of I can have Mac Jones or Geno Smith.
That's a different argument.
I guarantee you 9 out of 10 people take Mac Jones over Geno Smith.
Okay, fantastic. What week of the season is it? Is it the beginning of the season or the end of the season?
Dude, I was still
because right now Pete Carroll.
I'd still take Mac Jones.
Okay, I don't think Pete Carroll would.
They're going to make the playoffs. They're on the first in their division.
They're winning what was supposed to be the toughest, if not second toughest division in football currently, when they were supposed to just be the worst team in the NFL.
I was just say, and no one, when they were talking about that division, not one human said, "Oh, Seattle's going to put up a fight." And look at what the hell they're doing. They're winning, and freaking Pete Carroll looks like a rejuvenated son of a gun.
Yeah, no, Pete Carroll.
He's a young 70.
Pete Carroll's an amazing head coach. He's doing great work with Geno Smith.
You see him dancing, doing
like
one-handed
one of the best
catches.
head coaches of all time if he just handed the ball off to Marshawn Lynch for a touchdown.
Geno Smith is having a great season with him. And I don't think that Pete
He's
Carroll
having a good
right
season.
now.
I'm just saying I think Mac Jones overall is a better option for the long haul than Geno Smith.
Well, once
The
again,
NFL has really gotten the job. Have they
different.
forced too many New England Patriots games on you, or what?
No, I will agree with that statement as well. Mac Jones probably is a better long-term option than Geno Smith
100%.
because Geno Smith is 32 years old. That was not what we were discussing. We were talking about right now.
No. I'm saying if I am I'm the GM of Seattle, or
I want
Pete
Joe
Carroll,
Burrow.
I would rather have Mac Jones than Geno Smith. Like, I just would. Like, is Seattle winning the Super Bowl this year with Geno Smith?
You never know.
No.
Lightning's, you just got to catch a little lightning in the bottle. And
any given Sunday.
Not a chance in hell.
Clip this for February 2nd.
DK's out now. Not a chance in hell. Not happening.
Is any team on the planet winning the Super Bowl with Mac Jones?
No,
not this year
or next year.
But he's 22, 23 years old. Geno Smith has 10 years on him. You have 10 years of play that you could have out of this kid instead of this old man.
Now, what I would do is I would bring Mac Jones in as my backup quarterback to an experienced Geno Smith. Let him learn.
Geno Smith, a 32-year-old that's finally got to play.
Geno Smith has got to play.
Yeah, he's been a great fucking New York Jets. Hurt. Here you go, kid.
No, he started for 3 years out of college for the New York Jets.
Yeah, and he was fucking terrible.
And
no.
His coach
even came to his defense and said, no one has given this guy any chance, any credit. He had a terrible team behind him, and look what he does with a good team. Boom.
Rex Ryan did come out and say that before the beginning of the year when everyone was roasting Geno Smith. He went out and said, Rex Ryan was the head coach. And
everyone has roasted Rex Ryan his whole fucking career too.
Except for when they made a humongous deep playoff run with Mark Sanchez as their quarterback. Because Rex Ryan was also a good head coach for a while, a good defensive coordinator, maybe not a good head coach. But when he was the head coach of Geno Smith, he came out and said, our team was pathetic. The kid didn't stand, which that is very true of so many quarterbacks.
Yep.
I will say, they get the raw end of the deal. Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer as a head coach and a terrible football team. Now,
Daniel
Trevor
Jones
Lawrence
for 3 years.
Trevor Lawrence still has a coach that doesn't understand that field goals are worth points.
I mean, that's a normal thing now.
Okay, that's not a good thing though. Like these young quarterbacks.
I agree. I said
they
that
have-
this weekend.
So some quarterbacks, or just not quarterbacks, some linebackers, some offensive linemen, you get the short end of the stick. You get drafted to a terrible football team that if you get drafted to the Washington Condoms, sucks, man. It sucks to be you. It sucks to be you. They have a terrible culture. Ron Rivera's not a very good head coach. Their medical staff tries to kill their players. Like, it's just a rough deal, but you're going to make millions of dollars. So good for you.
Can we,
Right.
Austin, we owe it to you? Can we all just give you 2 minutes to give your Brandon Staley comments?
We're not even there yet. We're not even. This whole part of this segment was to talk about how Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are bad, and we didn't even start.
We haven't talked about
talking
that at all.
that yet.
My thing is, how many young quarterbacks, Jonathan, have we seen in the past 8 to 10 years that they throw them into a crappy team, they play them right away, they have 4 or 5 offensive coordinators, 4 or 5 head coaches, and then they fizzle out of the league and go play in Saudi Arabia, making blood money or whatever the hell they go do, and
I don't
go
know
play
any
in the
player
fan
that got to
control
Saudi
football
Arabia
league.
playing football, but
Yeah, they play the fan control football league.
the only one that comes to mind the only one that comes to mind that got drafted by a bad team and made a good team is Joe Burrow coming in and doing it pretty
Yeah,
fast.
exactly. Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, you could
Second
say
year.
Pat Mahomes, but they made a conference final the year before with Alex Smith, right? They were in the conference final.
How
that
many?
year.
I don't think they
How
were in the AFC Championship game.
I thought
How
they
many
were.
pictures have we
But-
seen of Cleveland Browns fans with a freaking looks like a wedding dress?
Yeah, no, we get the
Okay.
jerseys on the back. There's so many teams that you can do that for because, like I said earlier, the average lifespan of a QB is 4 years in the NFL, and that's, I mean, so it's not because they're bad. It's not necessarily because, I mean, it's just
It's
really
also a
hard.
skewed number.
It's really hard to play quarterback.
Honestly, yeah, the Eagles
NFL.
are like the perfect prime example right now where like Jalen Hurts has been written off. He played for what, 2 years prior to this? They finally built up their roster. They have a decent roster, and now they're the only undefeated team in the league.
And once again, they are not winning because Jalen Hurts' quarterback play.
But they don't have to. They
They
don't
have to. And you know how
He has
sorry,
played
Daniel
good,
Jones.
but
Daniel
he's not
Jones is
a
another
bum.
example.
I didn't say he
Daniel
was a
Jones.
bum. There's a very different.
I don't want my team to have to rely on the quarterback every week. I want it to be like your defense can do what they need to do. You
He's
got good
averaging.
receivers.
He averages 250 yards passing per game. He has thrown a total of 6 touchdowns this year. Jalen Hurts is playing conservative game manager football, and the Eagles are running the ball well, and he's running their offense well. But he's
And he's
not
getting the ball in the playmaker's hands.
He's getting the
That's all
ball
you
in
gotta do.
playmakers' hands,
Well,
and they're
not
getting a lot of like he's turned the ball over twice, so he's
Not turning the ball over.
he's not turning the ball over a ton, and
He's playing. Hey, Austin.
he's playing great football.
Tom Brady football.
No, he's not playing Tom Brady football. He's not
No,
playing Tom
I'm not
Brady football.
comparing him.
but-
I'm not comparing him. I'm saying he is game managing. He's doing
Well,
what's asked
I
of
wouldn't
him,
say-
and he's
no.
winning football games.
I get what you're trying to say, the style of offense is just not even close to being the
Yes,
same.
yes.
Jalen
totally
Hurts is
different.
doing what this coach is asking him to do, which is don't be the
Yes.
guy
Yep.
who loses us the football game.
Don't
Let
be Matt
Miles
Ryan.
Sanders, let the
Don't be
defense,
Matt Ryan.
let the defense play. Let Miles Sanders and AJ Brown, all these guys make great plays. And because of that, according to this terrible website, he's the 6th best ranked quarterback. And I would not disagree with, no, I wouldn't disagree with that. I mean,
He also has
What is that?
6 touchdowns he has 6 rushing touchdowns as well.
What is that?
293
PFF?
yards rushing and averages
That's
3.8
fine.
yards a carry.
Yeah,
But he
that's
wasn't doing
fine.
that last year.
No.
No, I understand, but he's the 2nd leading rusher on the entire team.
Yeah.
Great. He's doing exactly what they want him to
He's
do.
doing
Johnny,
exactly what I
look-
told
He's
him
a
to do.
good quarterback.
My
keep
point is
saying
they
that,
focused
no
on the
one's-
roster. They focused on the roster. Suddenly he plays within himself, and they're a dang good team.
I think even, and I keep going back to this, I think even Daniel Jones is a better example of this because last year people were saying he is, which they were saying about Jalen Hurts, but Daniel Jones was dead. Just absolutely will never play another snap in the NFL again after this year. And he's literally playing himself into a contract.
Dude,
I mean,
He's playing himself into
no.
go listen to episode 1, the preseason episode of this podcast. You will hear me say New York is going to be good and Daniel Jones is a good quarterback.
I'm not arguing that with you. I'm just giving you examples.
Like, I literally called that. I told y'all New York is going to be good and Daniel Jones is not the quarterback everyone wants to believe he is.
Okay. All right. I'm with you there. You know what the big difference is that he got a good head coach with
A
him.
coach.
Brian
Got a
Daboll's doing
coach.
great.
Okay.
And you know,
I
okay, can I just
it's
finish
still a
can I
team
finish
sport, guys.
Okay, can I finish my statement? I wanted to say the big difference between last year and this year is that last year, the coach told Daniel Jones, if we're going to win games, your job is to make plays. Brian Daboll is making sure that Daniel Jones is not the
Yep.
reason why they lose. Daniel Jones' statistics are almost identical to Jalen Hurts. He has
Jalen Hurts. Yep.
He has thrown 300 less yards. He has thrown for 6 touchdowns and 2 picks. Just like
Yep.
a good coach has come in and told Daniel Jones, if you do not turn the ball over and keep us in these
We will
games
win.
and we play good defense, because the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles are the 2 teams that had the best draft classes this year, and they built around their team. They made their squad better. And all they've said is, if you are a quarterback who will manage the game and not turn the ball over, we will win games, which this whole debate started from us just discussing
So,
if Mac Jones would play conservative game manager football and not turn the ball over, he could be just as successful as these guys.
I am agreeing with you. Jesus Christ. Yes.
All right, then
if
stop
every
arguing
quarterback in
every
the league-
point that we
if every
say.
quarterback in the league didn't turn the ball over, they'd be fucking good. I agree.
That's true.
Jesus Christ.
that's true.
We could
But
throw,
that's not what you
we
were
could throw
saying.
Shane in there for fucking New Orleans, and if he didn't turn the ball over, he'd be the best goddamn quarterback New Orleans has. Like, Jesus
Well, I don't know about that.
Christ.
Back in the day, I could throw the ball over a quarter mile.
Over a mountain. It's not a hard concept. Like I'll repeat what I said. You just listed out exactly what I said Daniel Jones was going to do on episode 1 of this podcast. If you would like to go back and re-listen to it.
But you were arguing with us that Mac Jones shouldn't be written off. We're just
Also,
saying he shouldn't
He
turn the ball
shouldn't.
over.
He shouldn't. Daniel Jones was written off, and look at him now. He's doing fine.
Also, sorry,
Jalen Hurts was written off. He's doing fine.
I will say, Jonathan, I will be the contrarian to you. That strategy, only works if the team built around the quarterback is good. Tom Brady is playing great game manager football this year. They have a losing record
Team is
because the
terrible.
team is not great. If Patrick Mahomes with the Kansas City Chiefs just played game manager football, our defense is so bad, we would be not good, because the key to those teams winning their games is their defenses don't give up a lot of points and keep them in the game. The
Yep.
Bucks currently don't have a team that is doing that. Now, can it be fixed? Yes. If all of a sudden the Bucks aren't giving up a bunch of points and Tom Brady can get there. The Dallas Cowboys have had a great strategy this year if they only give up 14 points a game and their quarterback hasn't been turning the ball over and they're scoring 20 points and 20 is bigger than 14. But this strategy does not work for every team in the NFL. You have to build your team around, and if you're the coach, you have to pick what your quarterback needs to be.
Yep.
If you're the Detroit Lions, typically your team is not going to hold another team to under 20 points. So you needed to be the team that the Detroit Lions were at the beginning of the year, where they were scoring 30 plus points. Jared Goff couldn't be a game manager at the beginning of the year. He needed to be an all-star. Now, Jared Goff's not playing like an all-star, and the Lions are losing football games ugly.
This could be a freezing cold take, but the Patriots defense is not good enough for Mac Jones to be a game manager, correct?
Their run defense isn't good enough. Their pass defense is pretty freaking spectacular, typically.
Okay.
I think their run defense is 26th against the run per yards per carry.
Not great.
And
not great.
the Bears
Not
are
great.
very good at running the ball. And
Mhm.
we saw that last night. And then
Yeah.
Justin,
straight down their throat.
yeah,
Yes,
and
they did.
Justin
Justin
Fields
played the best
also
game of his
played
career.
Justin Fields also played a great game. So
The problem is if you can run the ball down people's throats, you can open up a play action. And there you go.
Exactly
think-
what the Raiders did this week.
I think that the Green Bay Packers this year expected their defense, which was top 5 in the league last year, to be another top 5 defense. And then Aaron Rodgers, without all of his weapons, could just get to 24 points and they would win most of their games. That currently is not working for them because their defense is not playing great. So it just depends on the team around you. And that's where we're going to put, that's where the levels of quarterbacks really matters. Patrick Mahomes can't afford to only score 20 points a game because his defense gives up 25 points a game. He has to score 30.
Yep.
And then you can be,
Move on,
you can have,
Austin.
all right, we're moving on. Can we talk about how the Shield? I love the Shield. The Shield screwed the Cleveland Browns this weekend because of Deshaun Watson. I'm sold. The NFL referees, the Browns would have beat the Ravens and the Ravens would have blown another one, and 2 terrible calls made the Browns lose. All right. That's
I
all
didn't
wanted
see
to say
this.
about that. Amari Cooper got called on what is offensive pass interference.
Oh, that
But
was weak.
You see it. That was a weak one. And then there was a
It was a
phantom
weak
false
call.
start called on the
Yep.
Cleveland Browns as well, which backed up their kick, I believe, on the game winning.
Johnny is officially checked out of this podcast.
No, he's not.
so
Jonathan will
ticked
never be
off.
checked out of the podcast.
But
He might be ordering Panda Express. That we don't know.
no, I was answering a text. I had Mr. Gaddy's tonight.
Oh, that'll-
All right, there we go. All right, Blake alluded to it earlier.
that
Let's
will
talk.
cost him $200.
I would love to talk about.
Take it out of my podcast paycheck.
There you go, $1.60 from that Instagram as well, or whatever it was, Snapchat. I can't remember what app it was, but there we go. Brandon Staley and Mike McDaniels are they're my favorite. They're the most, they're what keeps NFL Sunday entertaining. I mean, Brandon Staley
He's dead to me.
he didn't do anything, I think, on 4th down that I'm aware of that was too crazy. But the defensive genius that is Brandon Staley, just their defense is so bad, and they got smashed by the Seahawks. And I loved every second of it because the Chargers are the worst. But Mike McDaniels, what he
Okay,
did on
me-
Sunday Night Football, he should
Yeah.
be arrested and put into coaching jail immediately. You're up 16-10, and you have a chance to kick a field goal, a chip shot field goal. It's not like a 50-yarder. It's a short field goal, which would make you up 9 points, which is a 2-score lead. And he goes for it. And it's not 4th and inches. It's not 4th and 1. It's not 4th and 2. It's 4th and 3. And they don't get it. Now, luckily, they win. whatever. But Blake, your boy Mike McDaniels, he's getting there.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
telling you,
coaching
Hey, I was
that's
gonna-
the
coaching
Dolphins
malpractice.
are pretenders. They are. They can't
I was gonna
score.
say, me and Blake might have been Mike McDaniel's biggest supporters, and
I just think he's hilarious.
oh, I do too. But you can't disregard the stupidity of what he pulled out there, and it might have been the cocaine. I don't know, but the
Are
stupidity
these
he pulled
guys
out
just
this
like
weekend.
they can't like reason like with the numbers? They're like, oh, the analytics say this, and they have no ability to escape that thought.
I don't.
That's my problem.
There's no way that the analytics tell you on 4th and 3 in chip shot field goal range, up 6 points, that you don't
you
get a
don't-
2-score lead. I don't believe it. I don't. And if
I agree.
if the analytics actually do say that,
You tell the
analytics are officially stupid. Like
yeah.
Well, we knew that.
that.
What do
Sometimes-
we always say, Austin? You play to win the game.
Sometimes I'm on team analytics. It makes sense to me. I appreciate there are times where I see teams go for it on 4th down and it's like 4th and inches and it makes sense.
Fan of that.
Fan of it. But I mean, if you
You
can go
gotta
up
take the points.
you got to take some points sometimes. Field goals are awesome.
But do we feel like we're at the point where there's literally someone in the ear of the coach that says, look,
There is.
here's the analytics. And if you don't go for it, we will kill your wife and kids. Like that's
No,
what it feels
I
like
don't
we're at the
think
point
I
of.
do not think that there is anyone threatening their wife and kids in their ears. If there are, we here on the Football is King podcast really hope that those people are arrested immediately.
Yeah.
We,
Yeah,
we
we
condone
do-
that.
We do not condone it. But what I'm saying is football coaches are supposed to be touted for their on the fly mentals, as
Which
one
many
great
of them
running
are
back.
not.
Yeah,
they're
some of
not.
them freeze like a deer in headlights. Looking at you,
do.
Jimbo Fisher.
They don't take care of their
Mike
mentals or
McCarthy.
their chickens.
But yeah, that happened.
Staley needs to be fired. I'm out on him.
This game brought Justin Herbert, the heir apparent to being the greatest of all time quarterback, according to some, has now played 39 games in professional football. Anyone want to guess what his record is?
39. I bet he's 16 and 23.
He is 19 and
He-
20. Justin Herbert at no point in his NFL career has had a winning record.
Damn.
He's the
Do- but
classic
do we-
case to
do we
me
count
of he has to be
coaching
the superstar every
malpractice?
game. But
Yeah.
it is
Do we
coaching
count
malpractice.
a lot of it up to coaching malpractice?
I would. This game, I would not count up to coaching malpractice. I mean, I get it. This year is going to be the asterisk year for Justin Herbert because he's got the ribs issue and all of these things. They just don't look good. I mean, they're scoring very few points per game to what they have. And now Mike Williams is out for I can't remember if it's the whole year or a big chunk of time. Keenan Allen's really struggling to stay
Yeah.
healthy. So like they're going to struggle he's going to be out of what if we had to take a bet right now of where Odell Beckham Jr. ends up, it's in Los Angeles, but it's not for the Rams.
Keenan Allen, I think, has only played 2 or 3 games this whole year.
Yeah, I think he played Sunday, but I mean, Keenan Allen, he's getting old when it comes to wide receiver age. And so he's going to struggle to stay healthy. Deshaun Jackson apparently is also lurking out there trying to find a team to do his catch one ball for 80 yards and then get hurt.
Great stat
I
line.
guarantee
Those-
you
hey, those 80 yards will be
Kansas
a
City
touchdown,
Chiefs
but-
will end up with one of these guys. I just guarantee it.
I hope
Kelsey
not.
was already-
three and a half.
Kelsey was already
OBJ.
trying to get him.
No,
Kelsey was trying to get OBJ.
I'm really hoping that Kelsey's contract was for Brian Burns.
Well,
We
Yeah,
need
you got to-
defensive help. The offense doesn't need help, but the defense, we need either a legitimate pass rusher or we need some secondary help because our secondary is hurting. And with McDuffie injured, and we picked up another couple injuries this weekend, we can't
Hey,
cover anyone.
They
So
turned
Yeah,
down
but-
2 first-round picks for Burns.
yeah, I don't think that Burns is actually the I don't know. I don't know who we can get. I'm hoping we pick up some corner who's trying to go somewhere or something. I don't know, but I don't want it to be OBJ because
On Kelsey's podcast, he was acting like he was trying to get after OBJ.
he's
If I
a per-
know Andy Reid,
he's a locker
looking for
room
a target.
pariah.
He's looking for a target.
He doesn't need one though. Have you seen? I mean, the offense is number 2 in the NFL, I think, behind the Bills by like half a point.
I really hope it happens though.
I agree, but
If
Austin,
you're
would it
OBJ, you're
surprise
for
you
sure
if-
going to Kansas City.
If you're
Yeah.
OBJ, you're going anywhere.
Well, true, but if you want to work, at this point in his career, just win rings. Ring
Yeah,
chase.
I don't-
he-
I don't think we really.
If you're
like,
ring chasing, go to Buffalo.
if you're
do the
OBJ,
Von Miller
you can
strategy.
do whatever the fuck you want. You got so much money in the bank, it doesn't matter.
Ring
like-
chase.
He's ring chasing.
If I'm ring chasing, I'm not going to Kansas City.
Von Miller's been doing it for a decade almost.
And
There's a whole lot of more chance.
it's working out.
I'm
It's
if I
a
it's like,
whole lot of higher chance to win a ring in Kansas City than it is to go to the Chargers.
that's
yeah,
true.
That's what I
But
think too.
if I'm OBJ and I'm ring chasing, I'm like, hey Vaughn, can you convince those guys to let me play too? Like, let
Hey,
them
I
let me
don't
play
think
too.
I
If
don't
we're-
think it would take much convincing to sign OBJ to the Bills.
The only thing I would think of
If
is
we're-
maybe OBJ doesn't like the cold.
Yeah, or it's a money issue.
He played in New
potentially.
York for a long time.
Exactly. He's had enough experience with the cold. He wants to go
Dude.
somewhere where it's warm.
I always thought that
Like
was the
OBJ
stupidest excuse.
Oh,
You're only there during the season. Then you go
No.
down to your South Beach house and you live
We
there.
got it.
Like, who gives
No.
a fuck?
we got it. If he's ring chasing, currently number 1 in their division, just lost their top wide receiver this weekend. He's gonna go play with Geno in Seattle.
Seattle.
Number 1 in the division.
Also miserable
Good
weather.
Never
No, it's
fucking
rainy,
happened.
but not too cold. Not
But
too
what if he
cold.
went to Philly?
I don't think Philly wants him.
Philly's like set.
Just stack that off that wide receiver room. The Rams
only
were
reason-
set last year and they went and got him.
The only reason I say Kansas City is because they freed up that money, and it makes you think that they're going to be offering somebody.
Yeah,
It
but
is weird that they freed the money up.
they freed the money, but as soon as they freed the money, I expected it to be immediate, and it wasn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
That's the thing that gets me. I know he's not healthy. Like, I'm not taking a chance on him because he's coming off a torn ACL. Like, that's
Yeah,
but
exactly.
we've
Brian
seen that so
Robinson
many
got
times.
shot 2 times in the knee and he played after 6
Hey,
weeks. You're fine.
we have-
That's a dude.
we
That's
have
a dude.
very little.
That dude sat out less games than Dak.
We have very little history of people getting shot in the leg.
That's
We have a
true.
ton of history of people being unsuccessful after ACL injuries. Like, the only person that has been successful was Adrian Peterson that year, and that's still the most amazing thing I've ever seen in sports. I wish he didn't get tackled at the 9-yard line and broke Eric Dickerson's record. That would have been incredible.
Someone might know this. Who was the other?
It's
Who
ju-
was the basketball player that got shot and played like 2 weeks after getting shot for Houston? The Rockets. It was
Did Sebastian Telfair get shot?
No,
Where-
but also there was.
he did.
Where did
so
he
who
get
played for-
shot?
It was in
Giants.
no.
Who-
I
who,
don't know where,
Shot
but
himself.
it was when Steve Francis played for Houston.
Houston.
The Rockets.
Who was it for the Giants that shot himself?
Plaxico
The
Burris.
Giants
That was Plaxico
Yes,
Burris.
Plaxico.
Plaxico did not recover.
Oh,
No,
Carl
he
Land.
didn't.
It was Carl Landry.
Carl Landry. There it is. We do have evidence of people getting shot and still playing.
He only had
That's
a
not
minor
football.
wound to his left calf.
You brought up
He only-
basketball. That's not
He
football.
only missed 2 weeks.
Missed 2 weeks, got shot in the calf.
That's awesome.
Dude, to get shot in the calf and only sit out 2 weeks for basketball is impressive.
That's pretty tough.
You got to
That's
jump
impressive.
and run.
That's
Yeah,
called
that's pretty-
grit. That's called grit
That's
right
grit.
there. My boy's a dog.
Johnny, let's shoot you in the calf. See how many weeks you take off work. Let's do a case study.
I don't get that type of days off, man. I'd have to be there the next
Wait.
day. I'd have to patch that shit up and let my
What?
happy ass there.
What if we shot you at work? Would you get workers' comp?
No, I don't get work.
No, they would definitely argue against that one.
Yeah.
We'd make it look like an accident. Like
I was gonna
We would
say
have
vice
Shane
versa,
run
but you're a
by.
teacher, and that's like really bad to say.
no, let's not say that one. We would have Shane run by Jonathan's work site and act like he stole something from us, and we'd be shooting at Shane, but accidentally shoot Jonathan. That's
Why the
workers'
fuck
comp for
is it
sure.
Shane and I getting shot at? Why
Well,
can't we shoot
yeah, I
Blake?
don't
He's the one
really-
that's a
Hey,
doctor.
Really,
side
Jonathan,
story,
you're the only person we're shooting at. We're just making it look like we're shooting at Shane.
funny
Shane's
side
gonna be
story
fine.
Shane, you shouldn't
about
like
shootings.
this either.
I have a
I want to
coworker-
see y'all at a gun range for a couple weeks before we initiate this plan.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're not doing
No,
this.
Shane, we'll have you be like 30 yards away, and we'll be like, we're gonna get
Okay,
you.
okay.
It's not even close.
My
They're,
coworker, his son took a one of them cap guns to school and started firing it off in succession
Oh,
on the school
oh,
bus, and then he yelled active shooter.
Oh my
Did he
god.
get arrested?
He got
Did
kicked.
he get
This
arrested?
happened
Yeah.
last week. He got kicked out of school. The
No.
sheriff had to come by.
Can't be having that,
Yeah, not good.
especially
See,
right
I
after
thought-
there was a school shooting earlier last week.
Yeah.
Like, we can't be
St.
having
Louis
those.
or whatever.
Blake, could you imagine if someone, when we were in high school, told the cop to get on the ground? What would have happened
That's what
these days?
I actually told him. I said my idiot brother once ran up behind a cop and yelled at him to get on the ground. So
We here at the Football is King podcast do not condone any behavior like that. That was just a foolish mistake that one of us made back in the past.
At a school that another one of us teaches at.
Let's not bring that up because I would like to keep my job. Hey, while we're on the topic of football, because we're back on it, my last question. This is a serious question that's bugged me for a long time. Can't believe I haven't brought it up on the podcast. Why are turnover on downs not considered a turnover? It's literally in the name.
they don't consider it a turnover?
In team statistics, turnover on downs do not get recorded as a turnover, and
I
they're
thought they
called a turnover on downs. It makes no sense.
But who do you attribute the turnover to? The head coach?
I don't care who you attribute. I don't want you to attribute it to a player. I want you to attribute it to a team statistics
To a
at the
team
end of the
stat.
game. That way you can say, oh, it makes sense that the Chargers didn't win. They turned the ball
Yeah.
over 5 times because they went for it on 4th down 5 times.
I actually like that.
It just
I
doesn't
like
make
that.
like don't call
I
it a
thought they
turnover on
did.
downs if you don't call it a turnover.
Yeah,
Would
it's
that
dumb.
change the analytics?
Maybe,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
maybe. Jonathan cracked the code.
I think that makes sense on if we started tracking it and coaches were keeping the stats, right? And they see the numbers and they're like, oh shit, a team that wins has blank number of turnovers. And we're averaging this many turnovers if we go for it on 4th. You would have less 4th and 2 tries and just punt the ball away.
There you go. My
Or
other
The head
now-
of analytics should be taking all this into account already, right?
we,
Like,
I
that
mean,
should already be-
we
I feel
know
like
that
they have to.
we know the head of analytics listens to the Football is King podcast. So I'm actually sure that this is going to get around to the NFL, and we're going to see a lot of really good coaching decisions this next weekend.
A lot
my
of field
hot-
goals coming, boys.
Oh, so see, my hot take that goes with that: a missed field goal is also a turnover.
It is. Austin, you
Because-
just changed Brandon
Should
Staley's
be
career.
contributed to the kicker, though.
That's fine. You get the ball not from the line of scrimmage. You get it from where they kicked it. So it's like getting
Sure.
sacked on 4th down. So
Yeah.
like a missed field goal is like the equivalent of a turnover. Now, is it as detrimental? No. Is it worth the risk? Sometimes, yes. I'm not saying start trying to kick 75-yard field goals. That's probably a bold life choice. But
Depends on who your kicker is.
no, 75 yards is a long time. I picked a number that was way too big on purpose, Shane. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna miss a 35-yard field goal, that's
It's
rough.
worth it.
Like it's worth the attempt. Stuff just didn't go your way. But if you're gonna
Shoot, if you're gonna
try,
miss a 40-something yarder,
Yeah.
it's worth it.
if you're gonna try a 58 yarder with a kicker who is statistically bad from 50 plus yards, that sounds like a turnover to me. You're just giving them good field position.
You know how we
But then that goes
changed
into analytics. If you got Justin Tucker, you try it every time. You
Oh, for
try it
sure.
every-
If you have Justin Tucker, give it a go from 75 yards as well if it's at the end of
I
the
mean,
game.
He's
I mean,
like
the
the
man's a
second best
robot.
kicker in the league.
What?
No, Shane, I don't think you remember this. Jonathan misspoke this weekend.
No,
when we
I
were all
misspoke.
together.
I said the Raiders have the best kicker. I meant to say one of the best kickers in the
And
league. And
I was
Austin
ready to
lost his
fight
shit.
Jonathan.
Austin lost his shit because of Justin Tucker, and I was like, no, that's not what I meant. I meant one of the.
Yeah, we have never seen anything like Justin Tucker before, and he amazes me. And I just hate that he's not
He's a cheat code.
on my team. Although I do like Harrison Butker, so that's fine. I'm not going
Now-
to complain about my kicker.
Question: would it change the game for the better or for the worse if a missed field goal? Say you kick a field goal, and say it's like 4th and 7, right? You're on the 38,
Okay.
and you kick the field goal and you miss it. If they changed the rule to where it was a touchback instead of you get the ball where that ball was kicked from, and now you're getting the ball from the 25, would you kick the ball every time you're past the 50 just because it's like a punt, but you could get points out of it? Would that not
Yes.
change the game for the better on the fact of like people would stop going for like 4th and 3?
I would kick it if my kicker would guarantee kick it out of the end zone.
Out of the end
I
zone.
don't
Yeah,
want-
you
I
can't
don't-
miss short.
I don't want one of the I don't want a kick six scenario because there's a reason
kick
why
coverage
almost
and stuff.
there's a reason why almost every time that they kick it and they kick it short and there's a return man, they score a touchdown because it's all the
Yeah.
big uglies are on the field and they can't keep up with him. So
There's no,
But-
the kick return, the kick defense would be hard. Yeah.
I like the idea because it does make kickers more useful, but it does make punters almost obsolete because you're just going to try a kick instead. And if you kick it into the end zone, then it's a touchback and that's
Well-
worth. So it kind of removes punters, which I'm kind of okay with.
It would be
And it
dangerous,
makes
though.
kickers more.
You know, it would be dangerous though to say it's like a 65-yard field goal and you're like, I'm going to try it. Like, you also run the chances of A, getting it returned, B, getting it blocked. So if you're playing the defense of, hey, we're going to play the short kick, and if this goes short, we have to play to where we can make the play to stop them. That also leaves you vulnerable for the placeholder. Like, I mean, you're looking at a lot of
Yeah. I think that most
Details
of the special teams operations have the hold and all that down.
Yeah.
Even the rookie kicker from, is it Cleveland? Cade York. Anything from the 45, he's making it out of the end zone.
yeah.
Like he can kick a 62-yarder in the air.
No,
Now,
I mean,
will he make it? I'm saying most NFL kickers can kick the ball
kick the ball.
62 yards and it'll be out of the end zone. They're just not going to kick it accurately. So I think that pretty much puts it at anything from the 45-yard line and in. They're going to try. So like punters are basically only going to punt on 3 and outs.
But it would be very entertaining.
Oh, I would love it. I would love to make kickers more effective in football. Let's go. I love the
I
kicking
feel-
game.
I feel like if we did the kickoff, like overtime, like field goal challenge type deal that you suggested,
Yeah.
that it would make sense to change the rule to, hey, if you kick a field goal and you kick it out of the end zone, but you miss the field goal, it's a touchback. And you're just saying the other team gets the ball at the 25. It's like a punt, but there's a chance for points. It's kind of like how we used to have the drop kick.
Oh, I love the drop kick. It's a good one. I mean,
I wish
all-
they would bring it back. Dude.
all the weird rules are great, and I love them. We will see. NFL Rules Committee, if you're listening to the Football is King podcast, take that into account. Also, regular season overtime. We don't need them to play extra. Let's just have them instead of ties. Let them kick it off kick it in like a not a kickoff because that's the wrong thing. You want to call it a shootout? I don't know. Field goal off? I don't care. But have them kick field goals until one of
Better
them
than a
misses.
tie.
Better than a tie.
Another option would be an Oklahoma drill on a larger scale.
No.
Hey, speaking of Oklahoma drills, if you've made it 2 hours or almost 2 hours in the podcast, get excited because Oklahoma drills are going to be mentioned at the very end. All right. Blake alluded to it earlier. We need to talk about some statistics in the NFL. And that brings us to our final segment of the day. And that is also brought to us with a sponsor. This segment is brought to us by the ASN, the Amateur Soccer Neglect, which is a new group who will actually watch games and be able to rank all NFL things appropriately, unlike the idiots that are our opposites at Pro Football Focus. So I picked three words that were opposite of Pro. I don't get Pro
I hate
Football
them.
Focus. It
They're
costs
dumb.
$80 a year. And they don't watch the games. There's no way. You look at their player rankings and it just makes no sense. All right. So, fun game. Who is the number one quarterback in the NFL according to Pro Football Focus right now?
It's
The
gotta
first two-
be
The first two are obvious.
right.
Just
It's Josh
Oh.
Allen.
Patrick
Josh
Mahomes
Allen.
and Josh Allen.
who's number two?
Patrick
Pat Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Who is number three? Shane, you're gonna love this answer.
Andy Dalton.
It's Andy Dalton.
No.
Blake, you're
They
gonna
just
love
saw his
number
name and
4.
Put it down.
Cooper Rush.
Cooper Kush.
Marcus Mariota is number 4.
Marcus.
Oh my
Dirty
gosh.
Birds.
Dirty Birds.
Shane, you're gonna love number 5.
Jameis
Number-
Winston.
Number 5 is Jameis.
Taysom Hill. No. What?
How do you have two quarterbacks?
We don't even have a winning record, and we got 2 of the top 5 quarterbacks in the league.
6 is Jimmy G.
Okay, I will argue with that one too, but I'm like, okay, at least they
Where's
win.
Jalen?
sometimes.
7 is Jonathan's Derek Carr.
Oh my gosh.
We're just solid.
8
They're-
is Justin Fields.
They're
You
trolling
gotta be
us.
flipping kidding
They're
me.
trolling us.
9 is Zach Wilson.
They're trolling
No.
us.
And
So they
coming in at
said
number 10, Tom Brady. That's
They're
right.
This is a
trolling us.
joke.
The 6-0
This is a
Philadelphia Eagles quarterback is not on the list of the top 10 quarterbacks. for
troll-
Pro
that's
Football
fake.
Focus.
They're
It's
trolling
And
us.
there's 2
Where's Mac
quarterbacks
Jones?
from the New
Where's
Orleans
Mac
Saints
Jones?
that can't even flip and win a game.
Mac Jones didn't make it. Daniel Jones didn't make it. I mean, he's 6-1.
They thought it
if
would
the
be too
Saints
obvious.
didn't have 2 quarterbacks, why can't Zappy and Jones be on that list? Where the
Cooper
fuck's
Rush
they?
is like 4-1 or whatever. He's not on the list. It's crazy.
You've got what is it? 5 of those 10 quarterbacks don't even have a winning record.
Also, all right. Here are all the quarterbacks on Pro Football Focus that have better grades than Tom Brady. Daniel Jones. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. But all of these quarterbacks have better rankings on Pro Football Focus than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, which is fair. Neither of them have played great this year. But
No. Yeah.
if I'm picking a team, I'm sorry, I'm taking these Tom Brady and Aaron. Okay, so we have Daniel Jones, we have Cooper Rush, we have Mariota, Jacoby Brissett, plus like all the guys that I've already listed. So also Jameis, also Andy Dalton.
Brissett's been terrible.
Yeah, I don't get
They're
How
they're
pro-
trolling us.
I don't get how Pro Football Focus exists, and I don't get how the NFL uses them for things like on Sunday Night Football when they list
Yeah.
the players, they rank them on Pro Football Focus, and you'll see like, Daniel Jones at defensive tackle is listed like 120th out of 124. Not I said Daniel Jones, I meant Chris Jones. And it's just like I don't get, or like Aaron Donald is not ranked number 1 for his position. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that
I
makes no
don't-
sense.
Okay, so
Go ahead, Shane.
so we've always thought Pro Football Focus is a bag of rocks, but this just proves to me that this is just a gamut. It's a gamut. I mean,
You'll see the people on the shows on the Worldwide Leader on Monday
Using it.
morning quoting Pro Football Focus. Skip Bayless loves Pro Football Focus. Like I don't
We
get.
really missed an opportunity for a website, boys.
Yes, I could easily write down random nonsense and put it up there for $80 a year. And if you don't do it yearly, it's $10 a month. So that's $120 a year.
Maybe that's
is
what we're
quite-
missing here. This podcast shouldn't be free. We should be charging people for this.
No, let's get some listeners first, and then our listeners are
quite-
declining.
it is quite literally the NBA draft lottery. They just put ping pong balls in a thing, and they say, "Oh, here's the best guy."
Having Justin Fields as a top 10 quarterback is just a troll job.
I mean, having Andy Dalton as number 3 is hilarious.
Troll
I
job.
love it.
Jameis Winston, number 5, troll job.
It's great.
Have
It's
they
good stuff.
have they watched it? They have not watched a lick of football.
That's what I'm
all
getting
that.
out of it. I think what they're doing is they're like asking someone who's watched no football, like they're overseas, asking the people in London. They're asking the
they
people
must
in
be
London
deep.
before.
They must be deep in some obscure stats that just nobody else
Well,
acknowledges.
they use all of their rankings based off of their other rankings. So they look at it against like strength of schedule, and they have like the Rams as the number 1 football team. And it's like, sorry, the Rams currently are not like, it's just like all sorts of things like that. And they look at their favorite statistic is QBR, which is the stupid, like it's so terrible. All these random stats that don't work if you use your eyeballs. Like that's what it is. You
The
use your
eyeball test is a
eyeballs
real thing.
and you look at it. It's a real thing. Like Marcus Mariota. I love what the Falcons are doing this year. I love how they're using Marcus Mariota. But if the Falcons
He is.
get down by 10 points, the game
they
is
did.
over because they don't throw the ball. The stat was crazy. And I think they only attempted 18 passes and they lost by like 20 points.
Yeah. They made it a 1-possession game
Sorry.
in the third
It's
quarter.
worse. The Atlanta Falcons lost by 18 points. That's where I got the number 18 from. They only attempted 13 passes in the game. So like in the fourth quarter, when you're down, surely you start throwing the ball. And they're like, no, we are totally fine with just Mariota's not going to throw a football. And that's fine. And that's what we're going to do. It
They
blows my
actually,
mind.
yeah.
Like the score was 28-17 at halftime.
Yeah.
So they're down 11. So they're down 11 at the most in the entire second half. The Bengals, with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, go up 35-17. So a quarter and a half of that ball game, they are down by 18 points and they only throw the ball 13 times. Like and for what it's worth, Mariota, for throwing 13 passes, puts up a pretty decent stat line. He's 8 of 13 for 124 and a touchdown, no turnovers. So his QBR looks amazing.
Yeah.
And
that
Pro
whole
Football
stat thing
Focus
is-
looks at that and says, well, Mariota played a great game.
He's just
Great
that's just
game.
a troll job. That's a
Yeah.
troll job.
So there's that. When it comes to other statistics, Blake alluded to it earlier. We're going to have to shout out. I assume you're talking about the one from Pardon My Take.
Yeah.
About the top 3 win percentages in the NFL when it comes to
Yes.
quarterbacks.
Yes.
All right. Jonathan and Shane, did you hear the statistics?
No, I haven't.
All right.
Oh man, my dog just took out an entire beer.
Nice.
Keep going.
All right. Since Patrick Mahomes entered the league, Patrick Mahomes has the number 1 win percentage out of any quarterback at 79%. Number 2,
Believable.
Aaron Rodgers, 73%. Who's
Believable.
number 3?
Jimmy G.
This is ridiculous.
It's Patrick Mahomes once he's gone down by 10 points or more.
Holy smokes.
He has a higher win percentage than Tom Brady.
When Patrick Mahomes goes down by 10 points or more, he wins 71% of those games. Tom Brady is at 4th place at 69%.
That is unreal.
When they
Like-
said that, I was literally like, "You've got to be kidding me."
And a lot of those are just Mahomes goes
It's
down 10
fluky
points
stuff.
early. They go down 10 points early in the first quarter because the defense is not great. The other team gets the ball first. Like this past weekend, the 49ers get the ball first, march the ball right down the field, score a field goal. In years past, it's just that the Chiefs go 3 and out on their first possession, or in this week, Mahomes throws a fluky-ish kind of interception. It's a great play by the defense, gets tipped around, it gets picked off. It's not a great throw by Mahomes. They have a short field, they score a touchdown, so they go down 10 there, and then Mahomes scores on every possession for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's fluky stuff,
just-
but
it's
that was
crazy.
mind blowing.
Which is why you live
Mind-blowing.
bet the Chiefs.
But at
Exactly.
the same time, Mahomes has games where he comes down from 24-0 or 17-0, and it's just
We've seen
it's,
it.
It's crazy that he is so good, and just the Chiefs in general. Which I will also say, if you're going to give credit to Patrick Mahomes, which you should, he plays very well in those scenarios. The offense starts clicking. You also have to get the defense figure stuffs out and keeps teams from scoring touchdowns, and that's how they get back into the game.
No, the Chiefs do seem like if they get down and then Patrick Mahomes starts rolling, the defense steps up, which is one of their greatest attributes, probably.
It happened already. It's happened twice now this year, right? Raiders, they were
Yeah.
down 17-0, correct?
Yep.
And as a big Chiefs fan, I pay attention. Like I watch all the mic'd up and all that. When that sideline gets down big points, they do not ever implode. Everyone over there is just
Nope.
positive. Hey, everything's going to work out. The offense is going to get going. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But you don't have Mahomes is never Tom Brady-esque on the sideline screaming at people. He's
Throwing
just like,
iPads.
yeah, he's just like, hey, I'm Patrick Mahomes. This is going to work. You're Travis Kelce. This is going to work. And then the two of them do
Which is-
amazing things.
Which is probably the greatest thing you could have. I mean,
And the other stat that I saw from this week that kind of blew my mind that no one was anticipating. The Chiefs lead the league in most explosive plays, even without Tyreek. They have the most 20+ yard plays this season. It's been fun to watch.
Hey,
Defense
Yeah, they're
needs some
good.
work though. The
I mean,
defense
They're
it
good.
just makes sense, man. Like when I watch the Chiefs, it's fun to watch because it's like Pat Mahomes reminds you of a kid on a playground
Yep.
just playing the game.
Same with Kyler
Like-
Murray, but he just does it better. Like Patrick
Yeah,
Mahomes
no,
just
no,
does it
for
better.
sure.
Kyler is also
it's
fun
like-
to watch if he does it well.
It's just like when you watch him, but Kyler Murray does it, but it's not the same. It's like
It's not the same.
when you watch Pat Mahomes play, it's like, wow. Like
Lamar
it's that,
has his
it's
moments
that kid
too.
on the playground that's like significantly better than everyone his age, and you just sit there and you wonder, like, how is this kid so good? Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? Like your 10-year-old mind can't wrap around the concept of how he just did that, but he did it. Like that's how it feels to watch him play football.
Yeah, and I think it also speaks to Andy Reid being a great coach. I know that I think he's had his issues in his career, clock management, not his strong suit, but he has his unique style of coaching. He's always a positive guy. he's not like Bill Belichick or Nick Saban, like getting in, which I'm not saying that those are bad. Those are great methods of coaching, which is why I picked the two of them. They are two of the best coaches to ever do it. But he just is over there saying, hey, who cares? We're down 17. Our
Let's
offense
go
works.
win so
We're
I
gonna
can get a
win. We're gonna
cheeseburger.
score games, or we're gonna score points. We just need our defense to make a stop. Defense makes a stop, and it works. And it also blows my mind. It's not like he only does this at home either, which Arrowhead is a fun place to be at, and it's a fun place to play, I am assuming. He does it on the road. Like he did it at the 49ers this weekend. With the 49ers got their entire team back, plus Christian McCaffrey. They got Trent Williams back. They got Bosa back. I mean, they didn't get their cornerback who tore his ACL, but he made it work, and it was good.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
It's just one of those stats that, like, when you hear it, when I heard it this morning or Monday morning, I was like, that's not true. There's no way that's true. There's no way that Patrick Mahomes wins a higher percentage of games than Tom Brady does when he's down by 10
ridiculous.
Points. And it is.
Ridiculous.
All righty. That's it. Oh, wait, no, that's not it. We talked about the Oklahoma drill. Let's bring it back. Blake, in just your top of your head, doesn't matter. Who do you think is the best defensive player in professional football right now?
Best defensive player, Micah Parsons.
All right, keep that in your brain. Jonathan, who do you think is the best defensive player in football right now?
The problem is, I agree with Blake. The kid's
That's
unreal.
fine. That's fine. Say Micah Parsons. That's fine. I think personally it's still Aaron Donald.
That was my second choice.
But Micah Parsons is also fantastic. I think Matthew Judon also having a great year. I think TJ Watt, you got to throw in the mix too. I think TJ Watt and Micah Parsons are very similar.
When healthy.
The fact that Parsons can do a lot of things. Like, it's not like he just rushes the ball. Like, he can cover a slower guy. He can, like, he's really fucking good.
I think we don't see it as much now, but TJ Watt used to do that a lot for the Steelers as well. He was played very early on in his career. He was played very similar to Micah. I think they are very comparable players. I think they're both incredible. I think it's a very hard argument to take. We are going to exclude Shane from this because Shane has walked away for a second, probably taking care of his children because he's a respectable father who knows what he's doing.
I hope he's grabbing a beer. It's 11 o'clock at night. If his kids are up, his kids are up.
Yeah. The question that I want to ask you, now that you have named who your top defensive player is, how many hits do you think you personally could take from them before you have to tap out?
Oh, as a former freshman football player at Mr. Ridge High School, I had dudes that were not half the athlete that Micah Parsons is, Cooper Foster. He rung my bell a couple times.
Called him.
And Robert Lewis. Robert Lewis used to seek me out just to murder me. I could take 0 hits from him. I could take 1 hit and I'd be dead.
So, like, we're saying just classic Oklahoma drill.
I'll be dead.
Micah Parsons gonna meet you in the hole.
Yeah,
you gotta take the one. You take the one, and then like let's say it was, I don't know. I don't want to put a monetary value because
I'm running the opposite way.
I gotta think those dudes are just like a Mack truck, just running into an absolute wall that just falls on you.
What's it for?
I don't know. Just to brag about the fact that Micah Parsons tackled you.
Yeah, bragging is not worth it. You put if he put like $5 million up,
I'll do it.
Oh shoot,
I'll do it once
for $5 million. Aaron Donald can put me in the hospital and I'll make it out as long as I'm gonna live. Like I'm gonna be profitable there. It's more of like I don't know. You want to say hello, everybody? Do you want to say that it's for like? It's for charity. It's for a Make-A-Wish kid's dream. I don't know.
Dude, you have a bigger issue if a
those are two
Make-A-Wish kid
Make-A-Wish
wants you
students
to
right
get
there.
fucking not annihilated.
Make it for whatever. I just heard someone propose this kind of as a joke. And then I was like, in my brain, I was like, okay, Aaron Donald's the best player in football. But I, in a total moment of arrogance, which is terrible, I was like, I could probably take 3 hits before I have to tap out.
Oh, Aaron Donald, I would take half a hit. He would.
No, so
Destroy
here's
me.
my thought. How do I have to like get up and continuously take it? Can I spread it out throughout a day?
No. So I will evolve the scenario.
Will I be hurt?
The 4 of us are in a competition, and just for sake, 2 people said Micah Parsons. So let's pretend it's just everyone. It's Micah Parsons.
Okay.
Whichever one of the 4 of
Cam
us
Jordan.
takes the most hits from Micah Parsons wins
Oh, y'all are fucked.
some
I'd
money.
die.
It's
I
like,
would die
how many
before I
hits
let
can
you
you
guys beat
take
me.
before you have to just be like, I'm done?
I would die before I let you guys beat me. I would literally
Is it
let
o-
this dude
Okay.
fucking kill me.
Okay, let's pretend it's not us. Let's pretend you're against Big Cat or
That
name
doesn't change
some, whatever.
anything. I'm
Okay.
still not fucking losing.
All right. So how many is it before Micah Parsons kills you?
Oh,
1.
kills me. Am I in pads?
Yeah, you're in pads. This is a
I mean,
full-on Oklahoma
CTE
drill.
hits like first hit, but like,
Well,
I
he's gonna
mean-
tackle you legally, not in the head, so you're gonna be okay.
You'll see a lot of this
Okay.
going on after the first hit. It'd be
but then, but my thought is, if I could just get someone to stand me up, and I know I can't quit. I'm with you, Austin. 3, 4.
So your question is, so like you took the
My
stand.
my
of,
question is,
you took
can
the
I
stand
get
of you're gonna
back
die
up?
in the ring. So how many hits do you think it takes Micah Parsons to put you in the hospital? Is the question for
Yeah,
you?
yeah, exactly. How many hits does it take to kill me, or to completely fucking
my brain would be
paralyze me
jelly.
for the rest of my life?
I've
My brain would be
rewatched.
jelly.
I've rewatched that play that Micah Parsons made the tackle on the goal line before Jamal Williams fumble on the 1-yard line, where he's a solid 20 yards behind that linebacker or tight end, and he catches. That man can run. He is
That's the
moving
issue.
Quick.
so fast.
I'm actually wishing we picked someone different.
I mean, the next
Actually,
best
no.
choice
Either
was
way.
Aaron
Actually,
Donald.
hey, wait.
So
Austin, the Oklahoma drill is great for us because by the time we even get off the ground, he's already right at us. So we're not getting hit hard very often.
That's
you're getting
true.
hit hard. You're
Oh,
getting
you're
hit
getting
hard.
hit hard.
You're getting
we're
hit
already
hard.
down on the ground.
Those dudes are so powerful.
You're
They will
getting.
destroy us.
You're gonna be
Yeah, but
barely
I'm
standing
already-
up, and his helmet's gonna pile drive your like stomach into
I'm
the
going
ground.
I'm going with an unlimited amount of numbers because I believe he's a good guy and he wouldn't
No.
kill me. I believe he would just pick me up and be like, "You quit?"
Nope,
Like,
nope.
Yeah.
no, let's
See?
do it again.
nope. This competition is for a Make-A-Wish child's dream. So Micah Parsons is gonna bury
if
you into the
that's
ground.
the
Hey, wait.
situation, you have really fucked up if a Make-A-Wish kid wants you to get hit by Michael Parsons.
Did y'all see that video of AJ Dillon taking out the mascot at the minor league baseball game or something like that? Okay, that is a good
That's a case-
example of
yeah.
what would happen
So-
to us.
So, how many more of those do you think that guy signs up for before or is he just immediately like, nah,
Oh.
I'm out?
I think that someone lied to him and he didn't sign up for the one he got. I think it was-
Oh,
he was
did you guys
just giving
see-
you a love tap?
did y'all see Najee Harris standing next to shoot? It was someone his former
yes.
Alabama.
Massive.
Who
It was
did the-
Waddle,
Derrick
wasn't it?
Henry.
It was
It
Waddle.
was Waddle.
Dude.
Oh yeah, Najee Harris and
Not
Jalen
I
Waddle.
did
He's like
not
6
realize.
inches taller.
I did not realize that
huge.
Najee. I did not realize Najee Harris is Derrick Henry 2.0. He is
Yeah.
massive. He is a
Massive.
big boy. Sorry, that was total aside. All right. So there you go.
Forget.
We might know more than all the NFL players and the coaches, but we will admit that we are not as athletic. We are not as athletic as Micah Parsons and other.
What-
NFL. We will.
What
admit that.
running back or what offensive player do you think you could tackle?
None of them.
Whoever's the lightest.
They
It's
would.
the
They would.
only chance I got.
I could take down Tyreek.
Mac Jones. Mac Jones.
Dude, I was
I
gonna
actually.
say, Mac Jones is kind of a heavier dude.
I
I
actually
could take down
cannot
Mac Jones.
imagine, Blake, a worse player to go against as a defender in the Oklahoma drill than Tyreek, I don't think you'd be able to touch him. I don't think you touch him.
He'd
I
be
think
at
Tom
5 yards
Brady-
past me already.
Him or Lamar would just put a move on you, and there's no way you even get a hand on him.
I think honestly, Tom Brady's the best option.
Tom Brady might be the best option.
He's slow.
Ooh,
He's
y'all
old.
saw me. Y'all saw me in the 40-yard dash in Nashville. I could take
Trip
on
and
Tyreek.
fall.
I'm taking
Trip and fall. I saw you trip and fall on the 40-yard dash.
who's a player that like trips a lot? That's what I want. I want a player
Daniel
that trips a lot.
Jones. Daniel
you go.
Jones. He tripped again this week.
And all I'm gonna
Did he
do
really?
is I'm
Yeah,
diving
he
at
had a
his
touchdown.
I'm gonna dive at his ankles and hope that he trips himself. That's my strategy.
He had a touchdown this week, probably from 60 rushing, and he
No, I
tripped about
definitely
15 yards in
think-
front of the line.
I definitely think Tom Brady's the choice. Or Scotty Mills, dude. He's not a big dude.
Brady,
No.
He's
Brady,
what, 6 foot?
I mean,
Brady
Tom,
looks uncomfortable to tackle though.
Tom Brady or
Hunter
Matt
Renfro.
Ryan, if you get them in the knees, they're good. Like they're down.
Hunter
There's
Renfro.
no way. Tom Brady,
Hunter
you gotta watch out
Renfro.
though. Tom Brady or Mac Jones in a quarterback or in the Oklahoma drill, if they slide, they will put their cleat up your
Yes.
testicles.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
They
no,
are
he
kicked the shit
dirty
out of that
football
dude.
players. So you gotta watch out for that. They might hit you with a wombo combo you're not ready for. All right, let's wrap it up. We've had a lot of fun tonight. Let's talk gambling. I lost my gambling.
Good.
slip.
My computer's about to die, so
Okay. Here we
Share
go.
your
We'll go
picks.
quick then. Shane, you go first because in case your computer dies and we lose you.
I think I'll make it through the picks, but it's not much longer. I got the Jets plus 1.5 versus the Pats. Syracuse minus 2.5 versus Notre Dame, and Oklahoma State plus 1.5 versus K-State.
I am kind of concerned. The line for the Jets and Patriots game did not change after the
No, it
Bears
did
just
not.
dismantled. It didn't change at all.
Nope.
So Shane once again, but hey, he had a winning record last week with it. Shane
Rat
loves himself
lines.
a rat line. Shane loves himself a rat line, and so he's taking the Jets there. He's got the Oklahoma State Cowboys and Syracuse, which I believe transitions well. The Twins are thinking alike again, and our Blake is also on the orange.
I'm on the Cuse over the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the Fighting Marcus Freemans. Then we got the Tennessee Titans minus 2.5 over Houston. I'm riding Tennessee this year. I think it's the 4th time I bet on them. And I think they're disrespected. They're getting disrespected. And Oklahoma minus 1.5 over Iowa State. That's easy money right there.
The Titans are another one of those teams. Mike Vrabel's a great coach. They look terrible, but they keep winning games. They're on a
I think
4-game win
Vrabel's
streak.
good enough. I think Vrabel's a good enough coach.
They're on a 4-game win streak. I maybe be a little concerned for your bet this week. Is Tannehill healthy? Is Malik gonna play? Who knows? We'll see.
They're also,
Maybe
but
I-
they've also been giving Derek the ball more.
Yeah. Also, I mean,
He's a grown man.
The Texans are terrible. So
That's yeah.
never a bad bet.
Don't count out Davis Mills.
I don't, but they're bad. It's safe to say that they're bad.
Dougie Mills.
All right, Jonathan, you're on the other side of the Notre Dame game. What else do you
Yes,
got going
because
on?
it's clear as day. Marcus
here we
Freeman
go.
is undefeated as a Catholic man.
Ooh, okay.
When did he
Therefore,
become Catholic this week?
he became Catholic after his last loss. Therefore,
1 week ago.
that's not true. That's
Yeah, it was 1 week ago.
Hey, don't let them derail you. Keep it going, Jonathan.
when did they lose? Who did they lose?
They
to?
lost to Stanford on October 15th.
Ah, shit. That's right. All right. So he's lost 1 game as a Catholic man. Before that, the other 2 didn't count because he wasn't Catholic at that point. So I'm taking Notre Dame Fighting Irish plus 2.5. I'm riding with the TCU Horned Frogs until they screw this up
Yep.
at 7.5. but they're playing West Virginia, and
Who
Yeah,
knows what's
that
going to
should be
happen?
easy.
Big 12 football. Who knows?
yeah, I mean they'll probably end up playing another backup quarterback, so it shouldn't be a big deal. And then I am taking, and I don't think I have ever betted on this conference in my life. I am taking the Illinois Fighting Illini, running the ball all over the place, -7.5 against Nebraska, because Nebraska fucking sucks.
As we have seen many times, Jonathan really doesn't like Nebraska, and he's going to keep going. Jonathan, I'm also with you. I'm riding the Horned Frogs until they lose me games. I will also always be on the Tennessee Volunteers until they lose me games. But they're
They're gonna have
13.5
sick
point favorites this week, so I couldn't pick them. So TCU, I got -7.5. I should have done this the whole season. I'm on fade A&M forever. Fade A&M forever. Ole Miss -2.5.
Freaking
And
bet the farm on it.
Jonathan's gonna love this pick. I love the Raiders -1.5
Raiders.
against the Saints this week.
I
We're
wanted to
just
take
running
that
the
one.
ball, baby.
The
Running
Raiders,
the ball.
the Raiders are starting to figure things out.
We've got
Maybe.
the third best
I
quarterback
honestly-
in the league.
I wanted to
He
take
has
that
the
one.
third
True.
best quarterback in the
You
league.
know what?
Well,
I
you're
put that
right.
bet in before I looked at Pro Football Focus. I forgot that not only do the Saints have the number 3 quarterback in the league,
the
they also have the
fifth,
number
too.
Also
5
the number
quarterback.
5.
So
And I bet Taysom's number 11.
it's possible. Maybe next week.
That's
maybe
a
next week.
That's a
Next week
recipe
we'll
for
look at
winning
maybe
games.
I'll find another terrible list on Pro Football Focus maybe before next week and see what's going
running
on.
backs. Guarantee you it's bad. Running backs.
See that one? I feel like that you can't really be subjective about.
No, because
It's
I
just
bet you they still got Jonathan Taylor up there, and Frank Reich won't give him the ball if he had a gun to his head.
Yeah, but Sam
Maybe.
Ellinger's going to hand him the ball a lot.
You know what? Come back next week to find out what our next Pro Football Focus terrible list is. That's going to conclude us here today on the Football is King podcast. Please, as always, if you have somehow made it to the end of this 2.5 hour podcast, like and subscribe, share. Please tell your friends. We would love for everyone in the world to listen to the majesty and the genius that is our football knowledge. It's worth it. Okay, I know it's a long podcast, but it's worth it. We will see you next week. Goodbye.